All right, here we go. Here we are. Alrighty. I think I should be all set here. Good, 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 good. Howdy, Xavier. Good to see you. You know what, Xavier? We did this with Acer. I feel like it's only fair. Let me try this. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see if he answers.
What?
There we go. Yeah, I did this with Acer the other day. So, I'm like, you know what? Fair's fair. I should have both my Nightreen party buddies have a stream where it's just them.
Let me set up my fancy headphones then.
Fancy headphones, yeah. God forbid you just hear me
Well,
on the
unless-
television.
Well, unless you want to hear me through my phone mic.
That's very true. Last thing I need to hear is my own voice.
Wow.
So, Light of the Black Knives. I pumped it out as fast as I could in a single evening.
Single evening.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let me just write this all out so I can get this out of my system. I'm looking at Bloodsaints and I'm just like, oh. I have like it's one of those annoying things where you have like 3 like sections. You're like, oh, I've got all this, but now I have to somehow string it together, and I'm like, I can't think of the right words to. So I might have to go back to the drawing board on that one, which I'm gonna hate if I have to scrap a lot of that work. But it's like, whatever.
Did you ever check up on what's his face, Blythe being immortal?
No, I did not find that exact line. I have not been able to find that yet.
We had this discussion before.
I'm sure, like so many other things that I don't remember. Also, let me just double check, make sure. Yeah, I can put this audio down a little lower. There we go.
Yeah. 1 second.
There we go.
I could just spell.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the. It's just a matter of like, I don't think Blythe or Malekith, being unkillable is going to change the analysis too much. I think. But I still think the issue is still like, okay, if the intent was to get them off the board one way, because you could just like indefinitely restrain them or something, right? Like what Ronnie does to the 2 fingers, right? If that was a possibility, they would have done that. So I think either way, we have to go with the assumption that like that's not something they're gonna consider under these circumstances. Like it's not gonna be viable. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to justify being like, oh yeah, Ronnie put him to sleep, because then like that honestly that would be a problem overall. Is like if Ronnie could just put people to sleep and stuff, like why the hell even bother with the assassins? Just do it yourself, girl.
Well, she doesn't want to get her hands dirty. And she also has to kill herself at the same time,
Yeah,
which would be difficult.
That much is true. She does need an extra. The thing is, you have Blythe and Eiji for that. It's like overall, it's much easier if we just assume like that's just like Ronnie. That's just like Ronnie doing it because like she could catch like poor, weak, normal guy, nomadic merchant off guard while we're, I guess. Actually, they never do explain the teleporting with grace, do they? We kind of just have to kind of roll with it. It's like, yeah, you could just kind of... You kind of just come back.
Maybe it's just like resting. It's just... You're just assumed to travel there.
That's true. It could be something like that. Though it's even funnier than that Ronnie happens to, like, set everything up for us in advance. Granted, the moon and stuff changes during that scene, so it could be there's something more magical going on there.
Yeah. It makes me wonder about the fact that the assassination happened on a night of wintry fog.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was just for thematic purposes to kind of reference how, like, this was happening with, obviously, winter, death association, but of course, like, Ronnie being behind it all.
Yeah. But I was just wondering if that was like an actual like magical influence.
Yeah, I mean,
So like,
if there
Dark
is,
Mirror,
I would like it because I unfortunately don't have much direct evidence that the funeral horses they ride have any effect on travel times, right? Because like I was saying yesterday's stream, like that's honestly the big thing. It's like, okay, the big limiting factor is the mode of transport. They're riding unique steeds. The implication would be, okay, these horses are what are allowing them to accomplish everything they're accomplishing in a single night, because otherwise it should be impossible, right? So, like that in mind, I think it would have to be just like either some kind of like teleportation or like some kind of like spirit jumping, how we can like go great heights, like maybe something like that, like it's almost like a wormhole thing where they can like jump across great speeds after certain points, right? Because the trailer unfortunately just shows them riding normally, right? And again, we don't get a sense of whether or not it's like, do they have super speed? Because we don't really see that again in the boss fight with the Knights Cavalry, right? And that's the problem, is that we have like a giant gap with no explanation or no signs of like whether or not it would actually be possible for the spirit horses or whatever they are. Let's call them wraith horses because they're referenced to Nazgul. So like these wraith horses, like what the hell are you gonna do with them that's gonna let you be able to get around faster if we don't see Knights Cavalries? Now granted, it could be because Knights Cavalry are fighting us, right? And this like speed stuff isn't necessarily viable for that type of thing, right? Like, oh yeah, I can travel like, I don't know, I can like skip like 10 miles or something, right? But that doesn't necessarily help me when I'm in a fight literally with you right in front of me, right? So I mean, it could explain why Morgott is like, oh, beware of the night and my guys on the highway, because theoretically they can chase you down no matter how far you go, because they'll just teleport theoretically, or like super speed or something. Like I said, though, that's the problem, is that we're just speculating there. We're given like nothing to really like flesh this out, which is the same problem with Rykard. And like, okay, he's apparently involved in the conspiracy, and he did something of significant, right? Now, I think I have it right in my analysis, right? But I wish we had more crumbs to work with to help, like, you know, pin down a few more points on that graph of mine. So it's not just me basically being like, okay, out of the ether, what is the best Occam's Razor explanation for all of this? Yeah, I'll be honest, I was not expecting to have like 8 pages worth of analysis for this single event, though. I was like, oh, I'll just like have this done in like 2-3 pages while I'm like thinking over Bloodstains more. It's like, oh no, there's just so much shit going on here. All right, let's get the pull parts out of the way too, because I have not been able to play this game in a hot minute, and we've had a few story patches pass us by. I have like all this oh, this isn't what I want. I have all these recordings and stuff too for like future streams or whatever that I have not been able to. But anyway, let's I mean, I have over 200 polls, and I have so many more polls in reserve here. Yeah, I have a full 80 polls. I can almost guarantee a character. So I'm glad we're finally getting Dahlia. I was talking about it in the Discord too. I hate this so much. Apparently Welt's VA is getting replaced. So I'm just like, fuck man, why? Like, why? There's not even a strike anymore. Like, I just don't understand. Like, this is just kind of annoying me at this point. Like, I could maybe understand if it's like, oh, you know, the VA wasn't that good anyway. Maybe we'll get a better one. But it's like, no, man, they got them like perfect. Like, whoever's the casting director needs a raise. They get them all perfect the first time, and then all the replacements they've always been inferior. No offense to the actors. Like, this wasn't their role. But it is what it is. Same thing with Dahlia too. I can understand that one though, because from what I understand, Dahlia's VA was a bit vocal during the strike or what have you. So I can imagine there might be some bad blood or something there, right? I just don't know what the hell happened though with Welt's VA, because he's just been apparently really chill from what I can tell. But oh well, let's get this over with. How many polls do you think before I get this one, Xavier?
3 arbitrarily.
3 arbitrarily. You think? Let's see. How much? I can't do this. There we go. Let's see. 10, 15,
10 polls.
20, 25, 30, 31. So I am 31 into pity. So 30 more polls would be 60. I mean, that would be below the soft pity. So That would be pretty damn early, so we'll see. All right, come on, Temple, give it to me. Nope. 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 Oh well, that's an extra refund on one of my pulls though. So 81 pulls in reserve now. All right. Oh come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Make it in 20. Nope. Damn. Another Gallagher. Okay. All right, please make Xavier be right. Make it 30. Please make my life easier. No. That's a light cone too. It's... okay, come on, come on, come on, come on. Make it 40. Like we're at the soft pity now, right? Like you're not gonna go to 90. All right, so that's 71 pulls. So I'm at the soft pity, did not get it. All right, okay, we're gonna hit like at the 200 on my Jade, so like 81. Oh, there we go, 81. All right, let's see. Now, do I win the 50-50? Let's see how cursed my luck is gonna be. Come on, I want to take the pictures of Knights Cavalry today. Come on. Come on. Woo! First try, every try. Do I get a double? Nope. Just a Luca. All right, there we go. One Dahlia. And I'm probably gonna get her light cone too, because I've been waiting for her for quite a while, and well, might as well. I'm sitting on so much right now. So
who is she?
She was from the Everflame Mansion trailer like a while back before Penacony started. She was one of the children of Duke Inferno before Acheron killed him. Apparently, they're in the new story patch, which is supposed to be filling in the gaps for some of the Penacony story. She's gonna be like the featured character. So I'm very curious what they're gonna do with her. Because there've been a lot of hints. I mean, her whole thing was she was supposed to go after the Remembrance, and I remember there being theories around that she could be related to the Cremators who like to tailor memories for the Remembrance. So I'm very curious what they're going to do with her backstory. And she looks a little freaky, so we all love our, I guess, masochist mommy? Maso mommy? I don't know what the abbreviation for that would be. Anyway, actually, how close am I on the, how close am I here? Let's see. 5, 10. Oh, 10. Oh, God. Well, it's a 75-25, so... And it's 80's the hard cap, so... That's, good odds, right? Let's see. Can I get it in, like, one? No. How about...
Good odds.
Come on. Don't make me waste it all. I mean, we got 4.0 coming next time. What if all the good characters come out? I think Silverwolf's gonna be one of the characters, so a new Silverwolf might be fun to grab. No. I think this is like 40 pulls. 50? 60? Yeah, okay, come on, we got it. Don't worry, it's guaranteed. There's no way I'm losing my 75-25. I don't care if I pretty much statistically should start losing my 75-25s with how much I've won them. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yukong, what are you doing here? Oh God, it's gonna be the last one. I saw that Nihility. I'm like, please don't be Welt's Light Cone. Please don't be Welt's Light Cone. I beg you, don't be Welt's Light Cone. There we go. I got it. So in total, I have 91 in reserve. So I have one full guaranteed 5-star. And I still have... I have close to 150 pulls still in reserve there. That's not even counting some of the extra shards, so... All right, we're in a pretty good position, all things considered. Pretty good position. That's nice. All right, let's do the level ups and then we can move on. So yeah, with the Knight of the Black Knives, I'm assuming... Oh, God. With Knight of the Black Knives, I'm assuming that we are... that there's, like, no other factors that I've missed out on or anything. Like, I've got it all figured out.
Ever stronger.
Oh, that's cool. Again, I love you, Christina V, but I did prefer Constance's old VA. Yeah, no offense to you. You're a great actress. Anyway, but I think I've got all the data covered for that, so maybe you guys will notice something on the Discord, but I think
ever stronger.
I think we've got that all worked out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There we are.
Would Mikola have been in on? I know you mentioned that.
Oh yeah, I'm wondering if Mikola is responsible for the horses at this point, because I couldn't think of any. Because I'm like, okay, if it's related, maybe you could make an argument that like Celia is involved with the art or whatever. But I'm really starting to wonder, considering the connection between Torrent and Mikola, if the horses themselves come from Mikola as well.
When to move on to my next destination.
Because I've also been wondering about I'm wondering about how the demigod at Castle Sol, the soulless demigod, how that demigod's described as what was the word? A comrade, or like to Mikola, rather than like a brother or anything. I'm starting to wonder if Castle Sol was involved with Mikola and the Halig Tree stuff since before the Night of the Black Knives. Like Mikola was already kind of preparing his Halig Tree from that point, and he needed Castle Sol on board because, well, you know, a giant tree kind of growing in your backyard is going to get noticed. So you kind of want to make sure that the people whose entire thing is like guarding in that area, when they see it, they're not going to like, you know, report that or anything and make this a giant scandal. So I've been already suspicious about that with Mikola, and like how long Mikola's really been like planning to kind of replace the Golden Order with his stuff. And that makes me wonder now if it's possible that he was actually involved with the whole Night of the Black Knives and he was contributing the horses to their cause. And then Morgott claims Langdell claims the horses after the whole plot gets uncovered, and then they requisition the horses, and then Morgott eventually, you know, hires the Kaiden mercenaries, and so they could learn how to ride and figure out these horses and all that, and, you know, everything from there. So that's my big suspicion now. That it's all... there we are. That it's all part of one big scheme by Mikola. Now, again, I'm gonna have to think more on that one, because it could be that I'm missing something, and that, no, the horses are totally just like your average, everyday, ordinary horses.
Well, it's hard to say, because the model's kind of like not completely made underneath the rag, but
yeah, well, what we have is we see very bony legs with a lot of hair on it. The hair kind of reminds me of Torrent and stuff, and I acknowledge that. And the fact that they're kind of like Torrent in terms of the immortality thing they have, where they can like quote unquote die, and then you can just summon them back, and they're like, you know, good as new. I think that is something where you're like, okay, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I shouldn't be doing this before doing this with her first. My bad. Okay, there we go.
So yeah, they might be of a similar thing as you know, summoning Torrent from whatever spirit realm he's at. But it, like, the magic for summoning them back in has like a different aesthetic. It's not like blue; it's like purple.
Also lacks the what's it called? The horns that Torrent has, right? So they don't have like the part goat thing going for them. No part Billy Goat.
Is it that hard to change our past?
No spirituality.
Nope.
Which probably I'd assume means it's not like the spiritual dimension. It's like the actual like undead dimension or whatever. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Yeah, that's the.
It doesn't have anything to do with like the.
Yeah, I screwed myself over there. I gotta. Oh well, it's okay.
Spirit animals with all the horns that's worship.
It could be. Again, this is the question: is like, how does this all connect with the cosmology? And this always goes back to the question of what the hell is the cosmology, which is always gonna probably plague me for as long as I like put it off like doing it. But I'm like, man, I need to figure out as much as I can without doing that so I can make that job easier. Sure, why not? Like, overall, I think the, yeah, overall, I think this is probably the best I'm going to be able to do with this. Again, maybe you guys will notice something and I'll have to revise it, right? That's the beauty of the Discord. But, like, I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I cannot think of a better, what's the word? I cannot think of, like, a better, like, you know, conclusion to everything we have here that can answer all the necessary questions that need to be answered to actually, like, you know, follow all this. And, you know, I'm pretty satisfied for the time being. So hopefully we'll see what happens with subsequent drafts. See if there's anything else I'm missing. I'm also, I'm a little concerned with the right card stuff, just so far as, like I said, if there are some breadcrumbs I'm missing, or, like, you know, they just don't exist, like, it's like, you know, that doesn't feel nice, right? Because, like, damn, there's so many necessary questions I have, and you're not giving me a lot to work with, Miyazaki. So, like, I'm hoping that what I've got is in fact it.
It just might be that, like, the intention is that he's a collaborator, and they didn't really think much further than he just helped.
Again, there's no way to know for sure, so I have to give the benefit of the doubt. And if that's the case, then what would be the answer? And that's the best I got. I should be, yeah, this should be okay. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, okay. This should take priority. There we go. Okay. Skill's not that important. Yeah, this just does damage. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what to do with Dahlia here. I really don't want to have to. Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna spend some of this stuff because I don't want to farm. So let's use some.
Actually, if I remember correctly, the circle that appears on the ground when they summon the horses is a similar thing that the commanders do when they summon.
Ooh, we should maybe get a shot of that then, because maybe I could mention that in the article. Yeah, that might be worth mentioning then. Because I remember it being purple, but
well, the commanders, it's like a similar effect, but it's just blue, like the normal spirit.
Yeah, because I don't remember if the commanders have like us. Because I remember being like a purple like runic circle thing, right? I don't remember if that's the case with the commanders though. I could believe it, but like I don't remember if that's true. I could just be crazy. Oh, let me okay, yeah, they've added so many quality of life stuff, it's really hard for me to kind of keep up. Like, it seems like it's using now. Yeah, I think it's using materials and stuff for what I already have. Cool. All right. So what we want to get is shots of the Knights Cavalry, then we want to get shots of the commanders, and we probably want to get shots of the... No, I don't think we need more shots of the actual, because I actually didn't really talk too heavily. Like, I mentioned the whole they hide in caves and catacombs and stuff, but I feel like I don't want to talk about specifics until I talk about the Death Prince, because it's kind of, it's really awkward if right before, I'm going to have this set up, so it's Black Knives, Death Prince, and then whatever's going on with Marika, Shattering the Elderly. Like, I don't know what to call that. I think your idea of Marika's Descent might be the best option for now, but, like, whatever I end up going for, right? The point is that I think that's how I'm going to order it, and it'd be really, really awkward if I order it that way, and then, like, we go straight into, like, talking about it, like, just beforehand. Like, right at the end, too. It's like, oh, yeah, this Deathroot. I know I haven't really talked about Deathroot, but it's really weird. But it's also this weird situation where it's like, you know, those who live in death give us a lot of good, like, information about the past and the history and stuff. And I kind of just have to mention it in passing, right? Like, just be like, yeah, these things exist. They're skeleton boys. Like, you can kind of understand the history there, right? And then it's like, all right, well, at least I'll explain exactly how exactly the skeletons are rising from the ground later. I feel like that's what I'm going to do with the Marika's Descent thing, too. I think I'm going to talk about, like, all the negative effects of the Elden Ring shattering with the Erd Tree and stuff, including the rotten bodies, which we've talked about a lot, but I think it would be fair if I address that there and be like, I guess this is part of like life being all screwed up. Like best I got. Take it or leave it. When soaring, Sacrideus. Oh no.
I wonder if that has any,
There we go.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the undulating flesh on the tree spirits.
The whole life getting screwed up part, you mean?
Yeah, and the walking corpses.
The walking corpses for sure. I think it has something to do with it, right? At least, of course, the standard ones, right? Not like the ones like with Mesmer's Flame or whatever, right? Like I assume
The
that's
hollows.
yeah. Yeah, but like I'm talking about like the rotten bodies that we see controlled by what's his face? I think in the cathedral for the keep. I think that's
Wago.
yeah, Wego. I think his is a separate. I think he's probably separate from. God, I need more. I need more good speed stuff. Oh, Dolly, I don't have you properly equipped. We're gonna be farming for you for a bit yet. Oh, there you are. There we go. And I guess this for now. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not happy with this stuff. I'm so close. Because Dahlia gives you 30% speed on her quote-unquote dance partner. So when Firefly's the dance partner, that means I can get Firefly when she's in her ultimate state, like over like 250 speed or whatever, right? So you can hit a new breakpoint, but you need to get to like 179. I'm at 173. I don't know where I'm gonna get the speed anymore. Like I put speed boots on her now. It's just like, like I think I'm just be farming for my break units for a while now. Oh god, that's gonna be fun. And then what's this here? Yeah, I need the speed boots for Dahlia too. Otherwise, how much break effect does she have? 155. It's okay. It could be better, I think, but it's okay. Yeah, don't care about this. We got her light cone and stuff. I'm very happy. I've been wanting her for a while. And I'm still bummed about the VA change, but Christina V is not the worst replacement you could get. I'm a little bummed about Welt's VA change too, so I'm not going to be looking forward to when I have to hear a new voice for that one. But anyway, that probably covers. I don't want to try out the characters right now. Maybe later. Let's switch over to Elden Ring now, so we can actually get these shots and see something I completely forgot last time.
What'd you forget?
I'm sure we'll find it when I'm going through it, you know? Like, I'm gonna... Somehow I forgot. Let's turn off the volume for you. Let's get ourselves in here. I'm sure I'm gonna discover how, like, oh no, you completely forgot that actually it wasn't Mikkel, it was actually Malenia who was the conspirator here. Here's all the evidence you forgot, Loki. Yeah. There we go. Who do we want to hear? Maybe Shishinki for this one. Because if we want to get a shot of Knight's Cavalry, Limgrave would probably be the best option, right? Like the one on the bridge, probably. What the hell? There we go. All right. There we are. Perfect. There's nothing special about Limgrave in terms of the grass or anything, right? Like, it's not like... The grass is not, like, particularly windy or something, right? Compared to other areas.
I think so.
Yeah, that was something that, like, popped into my head earlier. I was like, wait a second. Like, it's supposed to be, like, covered in clouds and stuff. Does that affect, like, the wind and stuff like that? And I'm like, I don't recall anything, right? Like, even at ×5 speed, I think it's just moving like normal. Right? So, oh my god, this stupid, I was about to say Albadoric.
Yeah, you there. Stop pretending you... Why won't anyone...
Go away, Bach. No one likes you.
Oh.
Oh, I should probably rest before we do that. Also, yep, we got this working. Yeah, so the best scenario I've got is Malekith is periodically coming through to check in on Rykard and all his duties and all that. You know, Marika doesn't want to have a demigod running things all by himself on Gelmir with the allegedly immortal serpent. You know, but you know, always possible something could go wrong or something like that, right? Like, this went wrong the first time, she's not gonna have it happen again. Right, it's over here. And then I assume the idea was, okay, Rykard, just keep him distracted, right? So tell us when he's gonna be coming, when he tries to leave, you know, so that way he doesn't get potentially blamed or any suspicion thrown on you while he's leaving. Assassins will jump him, restrain him long enough that they can break off some pieces, take it, and run away, right? Then Malekith's gonna report to the authorities, obviously, to help catch pursuit. Also, this is where the special magic horses also would come in, because it just is like, oh yeah, they just kind of got on their horses and ran, and, you know, he couldn't catch them, right? So then that happens. And then Rykard obviously is gonna, you know, it's gonna go up the chain to Rykard. Rykard's gonna take change and be like, hey, Malekith, listen, we need you to kind of like stay here and like answer the questions or whatever, so we get an idea of what these assassins look like, what they're doing, see if we can get any clues, right? And then after that, while that's happening, obviously, they head back to the Liurnian Divine Tower and capture, well, sorry, they hand off the stolen rune pieces to, or sword pieces, I guess we should say, to Ranni. Ranni takes the power of the Rune of Death and infuses them via the rite. Her signature is on the blades, but because of the death magic or whatever involved in the rite there, apparently you need to be someone like Rogier, who both has the skill in sorcery and the affliction by a death curse in order to have the potential of actually deciphering it. So I guess lucky Rogier then that he got stabbed through the spine or something, I suppose. Oh, I didn't hit nighttime. What an idiot. Let's do nighttime here. And then I suppose after that, it was something as simple as once Rykard received his little stone thing to counter Malekith in the future. And he obviously doesn't want to do that now because, well, again, this goes back to the point of if they take out Malekith now, it's just going to draw unnecessary suspicion. It's going to cause them problems later down the line and everything like that, right? Like Rykard's not ready to try to go against the gods at that point, clearly. So until he has, you know, everything in order for that, then he'll be able to challenge Malekith, like we see with him keeping the stone for all this time, right? Before, you know, got eaten and went, you know, crazy, basically. So I think with all of that established, let's kill these guys too, just in case. So I think with all of that established, this guy too, we gotta kill him. Okay, with all of that established, I think the idea was like he takes it, he probably kills the messenger, who I assume would be a Black Knife, right? Just because, you know, again, the whole speed problem, get an assassin on the horse. Then you just have to kill the assassin, because that's another thing. They know what the assassins are down to the kind of armor they wear, the exact weapons that they were using, and even the fact that they're Newman. I can't imagine a scenario where they could possibly like deduce any of that unless they had an actual specimen to work with, either to question alive, which would be risky, or, which I think is probably the more likely scenario, an assassin
Corpse.
Yeah, you know, a corpse that they could be like, oh, like, you know, Rykard could just say, oh no, Malekith, it's awful. Right while I was doing this investigation in my office, I was attacked, and look, here's the body, this assassin. Oh, what's this? Look at this strange sword. And then Malekith is gonna obviously recognize the Rune of Death's power harbored in it and be like, oh no. And then, you know, basically the point is to nudge Malekith to realize that Marika, you know, who he cares about the most, is potentially in danger. Especially if there's assassins literally active hours later from when he gets stolen from. And then suddenly, you know, he's going to jump into action to rush back to Langdell to make sure she's safe. And once he does that, the alarm is going to be sounded regardless because there's assassins clearly on the prowl. And then obviously Godwin's body is going to get discovered right away because, well, he's supposed to have a personal guard. And I imagine the personal guard are not going to be like, oh, geez, the alarm's going out and our leader is still sleeping in. I'm sure he's fine. Like, they're going to find the body pretty quickly, right? So I assume that's where everything kind of went south for Alecto and friends. I can't imagine another scenario where everything plays out.
You're thinking Tish was the corpse that they studied?
No, I don't think it's that, because they specifically say that Tish died protecting her mother. And she was involved in the assassination of Godwin himself. And Alecto has her ashes. So it seems, based on that circumstance, it's one of those it's that classic case of, mother, look out! And then she jumps in the way or whatever, right? Or she like blocks it and, basically, she basically takes a blow that should have been gone to her mother, right? Whether it was like, she was able to fight back or she just plainly just like got in the way, right? When it do so, right? And then they like probably take out whoever the offender was, like, oh my God, what's this? But then like she dies of her injuries and then Mama grabs the remains and tries to run off. And most likely they split up considering how they're all scattered, right? That we see, like they're like, like they're not like all united and together, right? So I assume the idea was probably to meet back up at the Divine Tower, but like wherever their meeting place was intended to be after they accomplished the assassination and pulled out, clearly everything got thrown out of whack between Ronnie basically abandoning them by like locking up the tower and stuff, and like just generally how the whole stuff in Lingdell went down. So Alecto wasn't around, right? So it seems like the idea, and they don't have their horses, right? Like ultimately the horses end up with Morgott and the Knights Cavalry. So very clearly, basically everyone's being like hotly pursued, at least in the Lingdell part of this, the Lingdell group, we should say, the party. And then they're basically all forced to split up and like disappear into the wilderness somewhere so they can try to, basically lose their pursuers, right? And when that happens, they're going to take the horses. They might have even found the horses by that point, right? Because I imagine when the city gets on high alert, that gets up to the walls, and right, like eventually, everyone's going to now be looking around, searching for all these assassins and stuff all across Altus. And eventually, when word of the other demigods getting assassinated, everyone's going to be looking over, right? Which is why I think it's so important that the assassins didn't strike where conspirators were living, because they don't want people looking too closely, right? So it's like, hey, there's not going to be one in Celia. There's not going to be one around, Stormvale Castle. There's obviously not going to be one around Gelmir, right? No one that could like draw suspicion of being like, how did this happen exactly, right? Are there any clues? Like, no, we don't want you snooping around and possibly discovering we're part of this plot. So the only one who already has an alibi and so doesn't need that is Ronnie, right? So all those dead bodies in Liurnia we see. She's like, oh no, I'm a poor innocent victim, but thanks to my quick thinking and ingenuity, I was able to transfer my soul as I was being killed right into this puppet body. What a coinky dink that I had that on hand. Man, I almost got killed like that. Phew, that was a close one. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I want to take the shot of this horse, but I guess this, right? I should also double check to make sure that our Discord call is not gonna get in the way with our little avatars in the corner there, so... All right, we'll do that. All right, let us see.
You can also knock him off the horse if you're just wanting to get the picture of a horse.
Oh no, yeah, we're good. Wait. You can knock him off the horse without. I guess that makes sense because you do it the other. Oh no, yeah, we're gonna have to unfortunately end the call if I'm gonna do this because yeah, Avatar gets caught in the darn. But yeah, I my assumption is that. That's basically the scenario of how it goes down. It explains why Malekith has such obviously feels so guilty over the whole sin and stuff like that, right? Like everything kind of happened all on that night and he was basically just too powerless and stupid to stop it, right? As a result, Marika ends up going crazy and stuff like that, right? Because especially Godwin's death. So looking at all this, I think this is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, I don't think I could even edit this because of just, oh, yep. I don't think I could even edit this just because of the way the skybox is. So I think it's better if I just like take a fresh shot without the Discord getting in the way.
Can
Unfortunately.
you not turn the overlay off?
Can I do that? 1 second, I gotta. Where's Elden Ring? I'm gonna make sure that we don't accidentally show anything important here. Let's turn that off. I don't see a way to do it, if that makes sense.
I would Google it, but I'm playing Night Rain while I'm talking to you.
We finally beat Harmonia. That felt so good. That was such a good fight.
Yeah, the final remembrance thing is I have to kill the Dreglord, so.
Uh-huh. So you beat Harmonia again for story quest. Do both classes require Harmonia, or?
I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm zeroing on
Scholar?
Yeah, I haven't done a single one of the ladies.
Yeah, let's see if we can look this up real quick. How to remove Discord overlay. Open the Discord app, user settings. Scroll down to activity settings. Activity privacy. Turn that up. Do not share, I guess. Who can join? Sure. All right. In that case, let's then try to quit. See if that does it. Apologies for the technical difficulties, folks.
Hello, cheese.
There we go. All right, let's see if this works. An error occurred while launching this game. It's already running. Oh, I forgot. It takes a while for these subtitles to sometimes stop, like they say. All right, so this should... All right, this should hopefully do it. Okay, okay. There we go. All right, that should solve the problem, right?
Early.
It's still doing the stream Elden Ring to your friends in my corner. Yeah, it's still showing. Damn it.
Damn it.
Damn it. Let me exit out here one more time. Technical difficulties. I hate them. All right, so that was... Oh, game overlay. Okay, there's a pat just for that one. Enable overlay. No. We'd love to learn more. It's not useful. It caused game crashes. There were performance issues. I was getting too many notifications. I had multiple monitors. It was in the way of my game. Sure. It was in the way of my game. I don't like it. Go away. Legacy overlay. No. Enable overlay clickable. I have no idea what that is. No. All right. Now for sure it has to work, right? Surely the overlay setting affects the overlay.
Surely.
Surely. There we go. Yeah, Loran's also going to be a doozy to work on. There's no way I'm getting that done before the month's over. Even if I tried rushing it now, like if I put like all my research, I'm like, there's no way it's happening. There's just so much to go through for Loran there. I think that's the downside of Bloodborne. With Elden Ring, it's just like there's so much to go through, but it's very much like doable. It's just like it's gonna take time, right, to go through like the whole game, and it's annoying to try to organize like some of the topics and stuff. Whereas with Bloodborne, it's like, oh yeah, it's very easy. It's like this will go this topic, this will go in that one. But it's like, God, I have to connect all this data together, in a very, you know, logical format for all you guys, and that's the hard part for me. I turned stealth off for a second. The guy's just staring at me like, "What are you looking at, punk?" All right, this looks good, I'm pretty sure. I do think it's kind of impressive how they do. Like they're very big on like, yeah, we have to make sure that the hooves look right. But then like, even though like the body, I get it's supposed to be like in shadow and stuff. But like, I feel like they could maybe do like a little bit more with the front at least, right? Also, it's interesting how like the cloak over them is like all like a fur. I wonder if the idea is that the horses don't like the light, you know? So like they cover them in that stuff so they feel more comfortable, so they're not like spooked by like bright lights or something.
Yeah, I mean, if they come from some weird death dimension or dark dimension, then yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, it's very clear, especially after Night Rain, that like the spirit realms and the DLC in Elden Ring did this too. It's very clear that like there's a very weird, complex cosmos in the beyond the Earth. So very, very curious how much we could unpack there.
I wonder if it's like a D&D.
You mean like copy paste the same?
No. I mean, like in D&D, there's a bunch of different dimensions that have like different
yeah, purposes and roles and stuff.
Affinities.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like lawful evil, and neutral evil, chaotic evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bunch of different dimensions with alignments, and they all are unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to talk about playing a game.
For sure.
I'm not as good as you are.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm particularly good. I mean, a lot of times I just kind of go on autopilot, and suddenly I'm like running around in circles, just like.
You do like to spin.
It's fun to like kind of spin around and stuff, right? Like, I mean, I'm the type of person who like when I like thinking on the go a lot, so like I have totally walked around like a zombie muttering to myself. I very much do that. I like how like he's like totally like he doesn't want to patrol anymore. Like he saw me for a time and he's just like, yeah, I'm not interested in you anymore. Also, buddy, we got friends here. I don't know about you, but like, could you please like move on so we don't have these stupid trolls getting in our way? I also find it funny how I'm taking shots of this during the quote-unquote day, right? Maybe that's another thing. They can only come out at night because actually, wait a second. What about the ones that follow the consecrated snowfield? It doesn't matter if it's day or night for them, right? You know, the two that...
No, I think it does.
It does? Okay.
I think.
I think this is probably the best light I'm gonna get. There we go. Yeah, they got like, it's a similar woolly look as the cloaks they wear. Right? Like, it just looks like a bunch of hairs.
I mean, horses are mammals.
Yeah, but like, the hairs that even cover the hooves? I'm not familiar enough with horses to know how normal that is. Like, maybe with wild horses, but... saying it looks a little curious.
Yeah, if you look at like underneath the hood of their head texture, it's like very.
Yeah, it's very low poly.
I mean, like texture is. I don't know what the hell's wrong with them.
Yeah, it's more of the fur texture underneath. It's just really low poly. Like, it's the same thing as what you see with the hooves. They just aren't, like, you know, modeling all the details because you're not supposed to clearly see. It's clear they made it so that way, like, the only thing you would get a clear look at are the hooves that aren't covered by the cloak, right? And everything else would just look like a dark silhouette. It's kind of similar to what they did with the other Nazgul enemy they created, the Shadows of Yharnam. It's like, it's the same idea. All right, so like you said, no! They're dragging away my Knights Cavalry! Come back here, you stupid trolls! Xavier, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
What?
They're dragging my Knights Cavalry away because he's just standing there like an idiot, staring where I was when I turned the AI off for like 2 seconds.
Oh, now the stream's catching up. Holy, that's really fucking stupid.
He's just standing next to the scarab. My poor dumbass Knights Cavalry guy. All right, I guess we're restarting this, and now I know. I forget the trolls respawn if you kill them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I should put it at actual nighttime. All right, so gonna kill one of the trolls just to make sure we don't have this problem in the future. All right, I think I can get away with the other one not dying yet. All right, you guys. All right. All right, one troll is dead. So what I want to do is kill this guy or dismount him without killing the horse. Oh, this is gonna be so hard. Yeah, I don't think I can do it with him. Yeah, doing it, it's gonna be impossible for me to do it with a melee guy. I'm always inevitably gonna hit the horse when I hit him. And I'm more likely to hit the horse than the guy, so. Let's just turn off ×10 speed. In fact, let's slow things down. Turn off always stealth. All right, here we go. The goal is to get a shot of him summoning his horse back, so. There's nothing special about the movesets with the Knights Cavalry, right? Like nothing like really notable or iconic we should be paying attention to, I imagine.
When they're like, no, I mean, they kind of fight like Banished Knights when they're off their horse, but like really lazily.
Lazily? Oh, is in there like slow?
Yeah, it's like they're slow.
All right. Oh, that sound effect. Yeah, there's just so many magic powers and forces and outer gods and all that cosmic entities and stuff in Elden Ring. Like it is
Fantasy, baby.
it's It's definitely a true blue fantasy, that's for sure. There we go.
Shouldn't you be taking these pictures at like night so it's...
Oh, I'm doing it for the sake of making it look clear. I don't really care about the actual, you know, making it look authentic, right? It's not supposed to be an authentic photo. It's just supposed to illustrate what it is. And they come out of like a muck.
Oh my god, it's Artorias.
I'm looking forward to fighting Artorias for sure. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they did with the speed of the fight and the overall tempo. I'm surprised they added Moog though. I feel like Moog would be one of those spoilery fights they want to show off, but what do I know? All right.
It is weird that they come out like a liquid.
Right, because it looks like it's just like, you got the magic circle.
I mean, they're also coming out of like ripples in the ground.
Well, yeah, it was the ripples from the ground, but then as they actually rose up, it becomes this muck effect that they're doing. So whatever the ripples
I mean, like, around the horse, there's like
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was okay. So it was the circle originally, right? The explosion with the circle. There was like a shadowy like effect that we still see a little remnant of here. As that was happening, a ripple was forming. After the ripple formed, the horse comes out, and when the horse comes out of the ripples, this muck stuff happens.
Yeah, it's very Dark Souls.
I don't think Dark Souls would have had something quite like this, but I guess the closest comparison I can think of is maybe like the time portal that Manus has. Something like that. But yeah, the actual muckiness is kind of like the Abyss, but like the Abyss is never this pure black. They usually go with like a dark purple or blue or, you know, something of that nature. I don't think it doesn't look like the, what's it called? The corruption stuff in the DLC. The mire? What? The muck? The mud? I forget what they, I forget what the stupid Trina Knight guy was called.
Putrescence.
Ah, putrescence. Yeah, that's the term they went with.
It kind of looks like oil.
This, you mean?
Yeah.
I feel like oil was more like Morgoth's thing, right? With a little bit of the rainbow to it.
It's like oil slick, but this is what the color reminds me of.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, there you go. All right. All right, let's go a little longer.
Very interesting.
Yeah, which is why it makes me wonder more and more if this is something that I could realistically say that, oh yeah, you know, just some Sellians, you know, one of those heretics living out in the Sage Town figured this out. Electo just went to consult her favorite sage, you know, just neighbors to Gowry. Just happened to be investigating weird, shadowy Nazgul horses, you know? Versus, like, you know, Miquella, who clearly is really in tune with all this spirit crap. And, I mean, there's also the fact that, Rodney seems to have received the spirit summoning bell from Miquella, right? And she knows that Miquella is Torrent's owner. So, like, just everything, like, about it is making me wonder if it's just Rykard. it truly makes me wonder, you know?
The only thing is, this is like so far outside of like his like aesthetic. Why would he choose like such like dark leaning thing for it?
To be fair, he's also responsible for wandering mausoleums.
Yeah, but those things are kind of graceful.
Yeah, but you know, they're knights and stuff, and the whole death bird and everything and all that. Like, it does look overall very macabre, and they're all headless and stuff.
Yeah, that part, yeah.
And keep in mind,
That
like,
seems-
apparently that's connected to, like, you know, freaking beheading with, like, angel scythe things. So, like, I think there's a duality there. You can make an argument.
I thought that had more to do with the Deathbird axe.
You do get the Deathbird axe and stuff there, but the scythe is inside the ruins and things, along with the nobles, right? Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure the idea is that the, what's it called? Oh no, I can't look at there. I'm pretty sure the idea is supposed to be that, the Witchbane ruins was originally where they were doing the R&D on developing the mausoleum itself, hence why they have all the coffins there. And then the other ruin was where they were doing the R&D on creating the guardians for the mausoleums and stuff, right? So the idea was like, we need to create like the perfect place to house them, and this is where we're going to create like the perfect people to guard them. That seems to be the idea. It was all
Well,
being
they also use like their skulls and their like their spirit to make the mausoleums move.
Yeah.
Given that when you break the skulls off, the skull barnacles,
Yeah.
which is so funny that like apparently they turn into barnacles and there's actual barnacles alongside the skulls.
I mean, to be fair, we have spirits that produce like mushrooms around their feet. Like, for some reason, some bodies turn into spirit forms, and then they grow mushrooms around them. Like, so, like, I'm not surprised we got frickin' skull spirit barnacles too. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all like connected to Mikola, right? And you got the angel scythe there, which is like, oh look, it's so bright and happy, and I behead you. So, personally, I think because Mikola was so involved with death, I wouldn't be surprised if he found these horses. But like I said, I am going to have to think on this a lot more because, again, until we can find, like, maybe it'll be like, I now get it. I now understand all this stuff about the spirit realm, and now I can explain who most likely had figured out how to get these horses and how they ended up there, right? That's always the problem with this, is like, you have to like build your knowledge, and eventually you're like, oh, now I can fill this gap because now I get how all this stuff works. All right, I think it's enough shots of this. All right. There we go. It's funny, he's still bleeding muck well after exiting the portal. It's almost like the horse rises out, is like made of the muck.
I mean, that could just be that it's wet from it.
Yeah, it's possible. It's just like, you know, it's like quote unquote dripping, I guess.
But yeah, the portal stuff kind of reminds me of the Royal Revenants coming out of the curse portals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think I like this better. Yeah, I like this a whole lot better. In terms of shots of the feet.
Yeah?
Yeah, like you can even see, like looking at it side by side here, like it's so similar, the furriness and stuff. Hello. Okay, is there anything else that this guy does with the horse besides summoning it?
Yeah, they don't really do anything interesting, which is kind of sad. Like,
Overall,
they don't
I
even
feel like
do
this boss
like
is a
the.
disappointment, honestly, when you think about like,
It is.
how much hype it
it's
is.
very boring.
It's definitely one of those bosses where it feels like they had an idea and they just kept downgrading on that idea. And this is kind of like the scraps we were left with. Of course, it's a bow that required. Actually, wait. If I two-hand with this bow, I might still be able to do it? All right, so how good are bows at dismounting?
Terrible. Just
Well-
use a weapon that you're that's low level and just two-hand it, and then do charge R2s.
The problem is I have to do that without killing the horse, or without killing the without killing the horse or the guy.
Yeah, if it's a really low level.
I have to reset it then. I have to reset it then because he's already a low HP after killing the horse the first time. So.
You? Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I gotta get rid of you. All right. What's a... I mean, I haven't upgraded these scimitars at all. Maybe if I... Maybe if I do it on stealth, I'll make it work. Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is so annoying. Yeah, I'm killing the horse first. Unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, that's so annoying. Also, I learned while researching how Malekith apparently just kind of howls late at night. Goes outside.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you talk to him, does he say anything specific if you talk to him while he's out there howling?
I don't think so. I don't think he has specific dialogue, at least.
But yeah, he looks at the Erd tree and howls at it.
Will,
You know, like
will
the-
it never
like-
return? Guy just
Like a
wants his
wolf
golden
howls
order
at the
back.
moon, he howls at the Erd tree.
Yeah, I cannot dismount him before killing the goddamn horse.
Then go for a higher level one, like the one in Caelid.
I would ideally like it to be this one. Is there a character? Does dismounting depend on like whether you can wield a weapon properly?
I assume if you can't wield a weapon properly, then that probably does a lot less poise damage or stance damage, but I don't know. You can just try your fists, but fists don't do like barely any stance damage, but it definitely won't kill them. It'll just take really long.
I'm gonna try it with the Naginata. Because I think when I two-handed, I'm wielding it properly. Oh no, it's him. There we go. Yeah, and the commander is going to be so much easier compared to the...
Hey, just walk into the arena.
I forget what he says, like, point, right. All right. Oh my god, he's about to die. Are you kidding me? I have 12 strength. And he's almost dead.
Yeah, it's a low-level encounter.
Still, this is ridiculous. Like, dismounting him is a pain in the rear. All right, let's try the one over in Dragon Barrow. Just to confirm that it can be done. I hate the lighting here, but I just want to make sure, like, I have the right idea doing this. Okay, there we go. Moving up. No, but yeah, like the horses and Rykard, I think are my biggest concerns with this, because it's the area where I have to get the most speculative just because we don't have that much to work with. But we have to be able to fill those gaps. I'm wondering if in the future I could just cut out the Rykard and the horses stuff. Like just ignore those factors and save them for like a Miquella and Rykard thesis, you know? The other bridge, right? I guess now that we know, the Wyvern boy, I guess, patrolling this bridge here is just trying to make sure that Farum Azula doesn't come back to try to kill him now. I guess that's the idea. Right, there you are. Okay.
He's just going there to bark off at Farum Azula to get away from his mom. Like a dog barking at a mailman.
Holy hell! How many Charge R2s? Finally! Oh no, it killed the horse too. Fucking hell. Are spears just not good at dismounting?
No. It has to be like what you'd think would be like heavy weapons. Those do usually a lot of stance damage.
I'm gonna try the Serpent Sword, maybe? I'm gonna also do it on Torrent just so I can more easily keep up with this guy.
I know there is a glitch that if you I can't remember what the glitch is. I think it might be if you can't break them and kill them in the same hit. Of course, just stay alive even after the guy's died. Just sit there awkwardly.
Wait, I knocked him off, but the horse is dead too. Huh? Wait, does the horse just automatically die if you dismount him?
It might. Yeah, I think you might have to just. I think it only works if you glitch it, I guess.
I guess. In that case, then it's fine. The shots we have with him up. But I'm going to try one more time to make sure I just wasn't paying attention. You know? I'm surprised that spear isn't good at dismounting, though. Like, I'm literally poking you off. You know? Yeah, that was not anywhere near killing him, and he got dismounted. I wasn't crazy. Okay. All right, so that answers that question. It is impossible for me to, without using glitches or something, I'm not going to bother there. Not going to bother like killing all these guys in my thing. If
It
I have
is
one shots in the future.
weird that they made it that the horse actually just instantly goes away if you knock it off. Because
Yeah.
like the horse, like the basic knights, you can knock them off the horse and they'll get back on their horse if you let them.
Yeah, it is very odd. I mean, I guess maybe because the guy has a halberdy 2 hands, maybe. No, even that you could just do an like. It's not that hard to do an animation. I can't imagine FromSoft is that lazy.
I mean, you can literally just reuse the horse getting on animation from those basic knights.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, they have a getting on animation when they summon the horse. So
No, but I mean, like, you know, without doing the portal thing. But like, yeah, it can't be that hard to create a similar animation to that.
yeah, so I'm wondering if it's on purpose. Like, if they're not concentrating, then the horse goes away or something.
Maybe it could also just be game mechanics. You know, that's always
Yeah.
that's always the other option. All right, let's turn the speed down. There we go. Yeah, you're right. It's the exact same ring. That's something we can include then. The same kind of ring when veteran commanders summon their spirits of soldiers. You know, I don't give much thought to that, even though that's another one of those details where you're like, oh yeah, these guys, they just know how to, like, you know, their guys are dead, but they know how to summon them back from the dead. Don't worry. That's another one of those things where you're like, don't you want more explanations like that? I can accept you for now.
Well, presumably they would have been of the class that would have done Deathbird worship, so that would have been along the lines of like the Mariners and stuff.
I think it's also you can chalk it up to the fact that, you know, one commander's at Celia, the other one is at Castle Sol, where a bunch of the sorcerers went, and you could just make the explanation that like, oh yeah, they learned some magic under sorcerers and learned how to, you know, combine that to summon up the spirits of the dead, right? So I think you could like say like a bunch of factors could come together to like justify it. But yeah, it could also be like the background of, oh yeah, Farum Azula, their farm colonists were plugged into that Deathbird worship, maybe. And this is one of those things where you have to ask the cosmology of, okay, what's the difference between a spirit, a soul, you know, a body, life, death, all that jazz. Yeah, nothing up here. All right. So we got what we wanted of the 2 commanders. We got the stuff for the Knights Cavalry. Unfortunately, Knights Cavalry don't do anything else interesting with their steeds. Not even a Night Rain, right? Like, they don't get any crazy extra attacks or anything.
No.
That's a bloody shame. I will say, I do like adding Night Rain little information blurbs to, like, the existing articles. You know, like, oh yeah, you know, all this stuff with Grand Sex. By the way, Draconic Tree Sentinels also turn into Placky Clouds. No, just cool little details like that. Anyway, as you were saying.
As I sang. I don't remember.
Well, you were about to say something, then I interrupted you, so. It's fine, I'll come back to you. Yeah, nothing really to add for Celia. Oh,
I guess they're just not like very magical folks. They're just guys that have a way to summon a horse, and like that's it.
Well, yeah, that would be the idea, and it would be consistent with what we see with the commanders, because they're also clearly not very magically guys. Which makes sense, because again, if the Knights Cavalry are supposed to be Kaiden Mercs, who Morgott brought in...
Well, except for, Niao. Niao's actually, he knows how to do, lightning stuff.
Well, but that's because of his leg and stuff like that, right? Like, he does
No, but he coats his entire body with lightning.
Well, yeah, but again, that's consistent with what we see with, like, you know, the Storm stuff and Farm Colonists, and what we see with the Storm Hawk Axe thing they have, so... Like, that I'm willing to be like, okay, yeah, well, of course, because, like, they're plugged into farm culture, so they know how to do that. Again, what's interesting to me is the fact that, like, our Knights Cavalry guys and our veteran commanders, like, they just have, like, ordinary halberds or flail. Actually, how does it work with the flail? Like, how does summoning the flail work?
It's the same animation, but just has the flail flop around.
He's just standing there, like, making the big dramatic pose with a flail.
Well, it is a
long.
two-handed flail. It is
Yeah.
a two-handed flail.
Yeah, to be fair, it's still not long enough to be something like you stamp on the ground, though. Either way, they're using, like, ordinary weapons to perform these things. Granted, I don't know the exact, like, how viable it would be. There we go. Let's do this. I'm not too crazy about getting the details here. I just kind of want to see it in action, so...
Mikla seems to do the summoning through music.
Ah, I see. So it is slightly different. They switch hands and they make it so that way he holds it from the top so he can stamp it. Okay. That makes sense. It's not the exact same animation. He doesn't stand as tall and firm, I'm pretty sure. But, like, at the very least, like, okay, yeah. Yeah, and it comes out of the match. Okay. Alright, that answered my question. They do a different animation, and they just kind of make it work. Okay. Alright, with all that in mind then. So it looks like they do a summoning thing, kind of similar to what the commanders do. They summon some sort of spirit horse, like Torrent. But unlike Torrent, it's not a part Billy Goat climbing horse. It might be some sort of night shadow horse. Who knows? It could be something as simple as it can travel through the night and therefore can, like, slip through dimensions and stuff to get you around places faster, right? The best explanation for why, because we know they can do the summoning with the horses. So the best explanation I can think of is, like, obviously those are the same horses. The horses aren't, like, something they could just put away. Like Torrent is, like how they disappear. Because obviously they have to somehow requisition the horses and get them. So the horses have to kind of just be left hanging around. Who knows, maybe the Knights Cavalry are the ones that discover how to re-summon them. But the ideas would have to be, like, basically, like, they have these horses and they can use them to potentially travel great distances, right? Then for Rykard, he has to be recruited because he can leverage his role as Lord of Volcano Manor to distract Malekith and set him up so he can have the Rune of Death stolen from him, and then keep him there long enough for the assassins to pull everything off, delivering everything to Ranni, and then Ranni giving it back to them, and them traveling into their position. They kill Godwyn and Ranni, of course, at the same time. That's another thing. I'm not exactly sure how they timed that, right? Like, I don't know, like, was it like, when the moon is over its, I don't know, highest point or something, like, you know. It's not like they got watches to get to the exact second, so I'm curious how exactly they're, like, you know, coordinating it, if it's like some weird like astrological we have to do it at this point in the night or something like that, or if it's something like, I don't know, they have like a magic device that gives them a signal when Ronnie presses a button, you know, kind of like a, not like a radio, but you know what I mean, right? You know, these are all questions. Who knows? Maybe the Elden Ring movie will explain it. It'll just be a film about the Night of the Black Knives. God, can you imagine?
Well, maybe.
I mean, I would say if they're going to cover any of the events, the obvious one would be the alliance with the demigods, because then you can show all the demigods and them all conspiring and backstabbing, and you don't know. Well, again, you, the audience, don't know who to trust and who's being legit and what are all the schemes and plannings. Or you do the Night of the Black Knives, because then you can like show us Godwyn and like give us a real sense of like Godwyn as this person or what have you, and like Malekith and everybody, and then just like show all the events with the Night of the Black Knives playing out and make it this big tragedy. I think that's one of the benefits of doing an Elden Ring movie. Like, you can make it like really dark and tragic and like, you know, not like your typical happy ending story, because it's supposed to help set up and lead into the game, right? But who knows? For all we know, they're going to do an original story in the world of man, and it's going to be really shit. God, I hope not, but you never have faith with these spin-off things. They've done terrible with comics. Well, I guess I should say that for ER. The manga at least accepts the fact that it's just being a gag comedy. It's not trying to pretend like it's adding to the canon. Yeah, I can't think of anything else Night of the Black Knives related, because everything's trailer stuff. You have the cinematic, you have the intro stuff with the scene, you have the shot of the Black Knives, which I already have at Marika's bedchamber. I guess I could work on getting shots of actually, maybe I already have them, but shots of EG and Blythe surrounded by Black Knife assassins.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be good.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Do I have a character for that? Oh, I think ABC is the one where we were doing that. ABC. If I just check the road, I'll know, because, you know, EG dead. Nope, EG's still alive here. Sorcerer. Because I think I did on my sorcerer character. I forget, does EG's corpse like stay?
Yeah,
Okay.
it just stays there forever.
And I forgot, we confirmed that the idea with EG being the flames was either a glitch or that you can see the some of the Black Knife attacks also do the same black flame effect, right?
It's probably an oversight / glitch, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I don't remember, because I remember us having conversations about that and us like finding evidence and stuff, but I don't remember what the exact details were.
I know it's the Ash of War for the Black Blade Kindred swords. If you hit an enemy with it, it coats them in like a black flame.
It does black flame with that too?
Yeah.
I thought it was something like, oh yeah, when the Black Knife assassins do certain attacks, you see it. So like,
No.
have to, oh wait, what? Oh, I went too high, that's why, okay. Okay, yeah, okay, I can't go that high in the sky. Okay, cool. And if I recall correctly, we collect EG's helmet from his anvil, right?
Yeah.
Shame they didn't take it off. Shame they didn't take it off his face then.
Yeah, which kind of gives the impression that he takes the helmet off, and that's how they find him.
I don't know if it's exactly that, but at the very least that he might have, you know, accepted his fate, right? Like he's no longer afraid to die to the greater will because he's already done that, but then the assassins get him anyway. Either way, I mean, From Software's done this before. It's like when Kiaran gives you her weapons, clearly showing how she's giving up the life, but then if you attack her right after, she'll take out her weapons. So From Software's never been really that great when it comes to giving or rewarding weapons that characters still possess after the fact. I think probably because they don't have, like, they haven't figured out the code to, like, remove stuff from a character's inventory right after, you know, without resetting the area, like, at a checkpoint like they usually do, right? Because they do all the, when you rest at a bonfire or whatever. So that's probably the reason, unfortunately. Wow, this worked out actually better than I thought. Actually, a good shot of like all three of them. It's also interesting to me how the one of the assassins doesn't have a veil in the Death Touch catacomb. But still has the invisible face thing. I guess you could argue it's a lingering effect type deal. Same with the Shadow Blood.
That's probably simply just an art style thing, just like the Blood Nobles. They also have a missing face.
Do they now?
Yeah. Yeah, if I remember correctly, they have like in the file some like leftover bits of like a janky face model would have been under there, but obviously just took it away just to because they thought it looked better with an empty hood.
Yeah, probably. The less I have to look at janky faces, the better. I guess this will work. This will do. All right. Yeah, I don't remember if I've taken shots of this before, so just getting some more just to be extra safe. All right. No Blythe. So I want to say I probably already have shots of Blythe here. Let me just double check.
Interesting that the Baleful Shadow has Destined Death on its
Wait,
weapon.
What about the Baleful Shadow?
The Baleful Shadow has Destined Death on its weapon.
Oh, really? Does it have like a Deathblight effect or something, or is it just like the fire?
No, it does the damage over time, yeah.
I guess that makes sense though, because don't some of the 2-finger stuff do like shadow spells instead of gold spells as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea that, you know, if they have any control over the gold side and the shadow side, then Destined Death is a shadow, so the idea they can, I guess it depends on like, are they, because here would be the question, right? Is like with, how does prayers work compared to miracles, right? Because miracles, it was like you are manifesting like power, like you're using actual power as a catalyst, but you're essentially taking that power that you catalyze from the power of like your soul and your thoughts and your memories and emotions and your conviction specifically, right? Using faith in order to kind of do it, right? So I'm very curious how exactly that works instead with prayers, where the idea seems to be like you're beseeching something to give you power, right? Like, oh, Erdtree, I swear to you, right? Or flame, grant me this strength, or whatever. So I'm very curious what the difference would be there. Three sisters. Here we go. Okay, I do have shots. Okay, I do have shots of Blythe of Blythe here. I think this is pretty good too. Not going well on your side?
You heard me whisper that?
Yeah, that came through loud and clear.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything.
Was not
I
was
just
not your happy, was not your proudest moment?
I just don't want to spoil it
Oh.
when we go for more Dreglord.
Yeah, I like the visuals and aesthetics that they go for Dreglord. That it was definitely cool. Okay, yeah. I have the perfect shots here. Like these two work perfectly. Very pretty. So yeah, very clear shots of groups of assassins. Yeah, I'm not gonna use black knives to start addressing with the whole black flame thing with EG. We can save that for like a Ronnie analysis or something. But I'm sure I'm also gonna have to address the question of, is Ronnie responsible for getting them killed? Which I think I've like the more I like, I'm not gonna say like final, but like my current thought process is probably not. I doubt she's like, tell EG and Blythe I love them. By the way, I'm going to sick a bunch of assassins that I've already betrayed and have no reason to trust me, especially if they want to kill my guys and have them do that for like. I'm just kind of like that seems all manner of doesn't make sense. It ain't computing.
It doesn't really make sense with like the story either, because the story, like going through her quest, is about like, oh, she pretends to be this this distant, heartless woman, but she's actually very caring, and it's very much a weakness of her, and that she herself considers a weakness.
Yep. So I think it's just supposed to be the idea of like, you know, the assassins have been tracking for a while, and now that everything's done, it's time to wrap it up by like, oh, the assassins happened to strike right at that moment. I guess you can even argue like they notice like Ronnie and her like pet dragon are missing, so they use this opportunity to move out, right? Like you can argue a bunch of different circumstances on like why the reason it happens at that moment, but plot convenience I'm willing to accept. Yeah, we don't need anything from Ronnie's side either. Oh, what about shots of the Divine Tower? Liurnia Divine Tower. Oh no, it's Divine Tower. I know they're not consistent with the names of these stupid things. I don't have a, I really don't have much. Yeah, like, only thing I really got for us here is, this. I have some shots of the design, but I never took a wide overview shot, so let's correct that. Because I'm pretty sure I have access to the tower here. Yeah, I do. Have you seen like the Discord or ever talk anything about like the Two Fingers corpses there? Because aren't they stony, kind of like Ronnie here?
They're wooden.
Wooden. Ooh.
Yeah. They're like old driftwood.
Uh-huh. Interesting. And they're at every tower except Ronnie's, right?
Yeah.
I do wonder. Because I have been thinking about the possibility of, did Marika use the fingers potentially to try to put everything in the realm of shadow, right? And the only question would be like, why is the Two Fingers body missing at the tower? I guess you could argue Ronnie just disposed of it because, well, obviously they wanted to put her body here and they didn't need it, right? Just dirt and some grass at the center here, otherwise. Oh, I completely forgot they put branches of the Erd tree falling into the water here. That's cool.
Yeah, when you burn it.
Yeah, but like theoretically, Marika could access all of these towers. She has control, like she has control of the penal colony, right? Like she has a friendly relations with Liurnia at this point. So they could obviously take the Limgrave Tower. They could go to the Caelid Tower. At this point, there should still be the bridge that would take them all the way to the Far Missoula Tower. It's still extremely odd to me that that's like a thing. Like, you build a bridge, right, to take you to the tower, but the tower is like, it's not the tower like next to you here, right, in Altus. It's not the next tower over. It's the tower all the way in Far Missoula it takes you to, right? And everything points to that, from like the foliage to like the bridge and the teleport gate. Like everything does point to that, but it is a little odd. They essentially have this giant bridge thing that has to like go like around, cross over one of the towers in order to get to all the way on this far side. And I get it, you have technically some land in between or what have you, right? With the Realm of Shadow at that point. But still, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, was this always the plan? Or was this something that they felt they had to kind of like worm in because there was no other way to do it with like the Martin lore and what they did with their map, you know? That might be why they decide to destroy it too. They're like, yeah, trying to make sense of this is no bueno. We'll just say that it was Mesmer or something. They're like, Miyazaki-san, maybe we could like change it. They're like, 999. I don't know why I made him German.
I was about to say.
The Japanese man is now German. He's like, oh, Chica, no. I just got myself killed. Well, at least you know it's my stream.
Oh, you fall?
Yeah, I fell while trying to make a joke with Japanese, clearly. Clearly. Fate has spoken. Miyazaki is now German. That's what happens when you read all about Beowulf and stuff. It makes you a German suddenly. Yeah, outside of this tower. Yeah, outside this tower, I don't think we really have that much here. It's interesting how she has like red gems and stuff that she wore. You know, considering all her moon stuff, it's kind of surprising she wears so much red.
It's to match with the hair.
Yeah, maybe. But it's just kind of weird that, like, you know, that's what got approved, you know? I feel like it's one of those things Miyazaki would be like, no, you gotta make it like the moon thing. Unless there's like, you know, I hate you, Dad, but I also love you. You know, she's a daddy's girl at heart, but she just want to accept it because daddy
It could
hurt
just
mom.
be like to represent the fire giants. Given that, you know, they all like redheads apparently.
Well, okay, but the thing would be like, why would Ronnie do it, is my question.
True.
Right? Like, I can understand, like, wearing something like this magenta or pinkish color.
Yeah, I
if-
believe also
Like, I could see Melania wearing this. I
her
can't-
mom also has that color.
Oh,
gems.
really? Does she?
I'm pretty sure. I think. I might be mistaken, but I think so.
Let's see. Because if so, then okay, yeah, she's just copying her mom then. Which would be ironic if her mom is copying Radigan at all. Let's see. She kinda has that. Like it's not the same color. It's like it's definitely more pink. Like a very bright pink. I don't see any other jewelry on her either. I love her little like cradles chair, by the way. Like it's the funniest little thing. Oh, you know, maybe this. Does this look familiar to you, Xavier? Let me bring up the other one.
You're gonna have to wait until the stream catches up.
That's fine. I'll try to. All right, screenshots. Oh. All right, let's keep you locked
Oh,
in.
yeah, that. Yeah, Loki. The purple brooch is probably imitating the other purple brooch.
It's not the exact same model, but it's a kind of similar style. Like I can definitely see it. Old woman Renala.
I do like the detail that when Ronnie summons like the heroic version of her, she's wearing like presumably Radagon's wedding ring.
Yeah, like again, the hues aren't exact, and part of it might be lighting, but it's close enough. I'm willing to buy it. Right? Yeah, at the very least, it's probably the best explanation that they wanted to go for something that's stylistically similar to her mother, whether or not, like, that inspiration was Radagon or something else. All right, so that's covered there. The red hair is self-explanatory. There's no sign of the demigod's houses in Lanedale, right? Like, no, I don't think I've seen any theories related to that. Oh, whoops. Wrong one.
No.
Oh, right, it's Ash now. I can't just... Okay, we gotta switch characters. Because there's definitely a house that has, like, a bunch of Mikola lilies, but that could just tell you there's, like, a Mikola fanboy living there. Like, it doesn't have to deal with anything deeper than that. Yeah, same with, like, I don't think there's any items you could tie back to the Night of the Black Knives either. Maybe fan daggers, but we see those used so frequently. I don't know if you can even tie those to assassins specifically anymore. Or if it's just, like, generic throwing knife things they keep as, like, rewards without much thought. Yeah, we already have shots of, I think, most of the assassins, because we have, I know we have the one in Death Touched and the one in the Black Knife Catacomb. Oh yeah, that's another thing, is that the only problem with the whole dead body thing, like I said, would be the whole knife print, and Rajier seems to be the only one who can do it. So I do think that's probably the weakest part of this entire plot, right? Is the idea that Ronnie, Rykard, or anybody would take a risk like that. Like, I feel like you could have definitely made the argument that if they were going to dispose of the assassins, like, I don't know, like set up a gas chamber or something and have them walk in. Like, it feels very weird to me the way they handle it. Because, like, they only really get the group in Lanedale. There's a bunch of others that are also assassinating demigods all across the lands, right? So those ones don't get it. So presumably they're going to still try to follow the script, right? That's the big problem I think I have with here, is that we're getting these indications of how it works out, but I'm like, I'm not sure if this is the smartest way to go about it. There's also always the risk that they get captured instead of killed, and then they spoil everything just to, you know, screw over Ronnie, right? So I do feel like there's a bunch of variables that make this assassination plot, but then a double cross, a little, you know, like I feel like there's definitely like it could have been written better, right? But yeah, barring any like better scenario that I can devise, I'm pretty sure that is the idea of how it's supposed to go down. I guess it's also possible that Ronnie just happened, that like they just happened to get caught. It had nothing to do with Ronnie or Rykard or anything. Like, oh no, they didn't turn on their invisibility and they ended up bumping into somebody and everything went wrong from there. I guess that's possible. I don't know though. That seems a bit like it. That also seems like really weak. Like it's like, ah, well, you know, it just so happened that everything went wrong right then and there at the very end. All whoopsie daisy. Especially since it's clear that Ronnie abandoned them anyway. So it's obvious that she was reneging on the plan either way. So why are we going to pretend that Ronnie and Rykard, at least Rykard, but I think Ronnie would have to be involved too, considering the way she acts afterward. Like I feel like it has to kind of be that they're all getting betrayed by the two demigods, right? But yeah, barring any further evidence we pick up, I think I'm just gonna have to settle with what I've got. I don't know if I can come up with a more likely scenario than what we already have here. I hate it, but that's probably gonna be my most speculative ER analysis, just by nature of what little evidence we have in some parts. To speak with more certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already have shots of the wolves here and stuff. We don't need that. Yeah, Kaiden's good. Knight's Cavalry should also be good because again, there's not much to add. I'll just be talking about the portal things there, and I don't talk about the portal things in Kaiden, I'm pretty sure, so that should all be fine. Alright, so yeah, that's something that again, maybe we'll have that done by the end of this month. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I'll have something working for Blood Saints come next week. And I don't know if this weekend... yeah, but this weekend's gonna be weird. I don't know if I'll be able to stream tomorrow, and I might not stream Sunday either, depending on how things work out. So we'll just have to play it by ear what happens this weekend. But then I guess on Monday we can get back to Night Rain, beat the Dreglord, and then afterwards you'll just be, I guess, either doing Everdark versions, and eventually I'll have to do the story stuff just for the funsies, but I think we take that slow and then we can go back to like just doing other stuff or whatever while we I guess while we wait for me to like have my next big breakthrough in Elden Ring. You know, actually maybe you know, we have to see with Loran first, because maybe I'll want to do some runs of different Loran dungeons to get more shots of like the areas, but I don't know. Like I said, Loran's gonna be a weird one because outside of the shots of the enemies, which I think I can get from Meph's wiki, I think we should be fine. Like, I think I should have enough shots. I edited a shot together to get something good with the... oh, hey, guys. To get something good with the lightning and everything with the bolts, so I think that's covered. Yeah, oh, they just disappeared. Yeah. Oh. Huh. The enemies just disappeared. Okay, that's something. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
You? Yeah, you there.
Yeah, I know. I get you, Bach. Okay, so yeah, I think what's gonna happen then is probably now that I have the draft here, I'll probably put this on the back burner. Hopefully, I'll be able to get Blood Saints going by next week. I'm not sure if I'll be able to work on it at all this weekend. And then next week we'll definitely cover Dreglord. And then eventually I want to get back because I still have my backlog of games I want to complete and finish. So I want us to start getting through there before it gets bigger. I'm so glad that I made the. I'm so glad I made that little indie horror title we were playing a Halloween thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise it'd be like, oh my god. It's like, no, this will be special for the holiday. You've been playing it a lot, right? I assume you've gotten farther than me at this point, but.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm gonna hit a timeout.
You weren't able to make it in the time limit.
Well, I don't know how the time limit works, but I assume it's just gonna
it's by going through different areas.
Oh well, no, I know that. I mean, like, I don't know what happens at the end.
Oh, okay. Like if it's a hard like end game, or if it lets you like reset or something. I don't know. It seems like a fun game I'm gonna play to the end. I feel like my problem is that I need to recruit people for party members. I thought it was like a game that you like mostly play solo, but I definitely think it's like, oh no, this is like a party game. You got to recruit people because it feels like almost impossible for me to do what I'm currently doing.
The party members have unique mechanics to each character, so it is really cool. You did miss a very obvious party member. You can recruit the you know, the kid that you gave the teddy bear to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can recruit him after he mutates with the teeth.
Oh, did I kill him, or?
I don't know, but if you pacify him, you can talk to him again and convince him to follow you.
Oh, yeah, I do not remember what I did there. I remember killing his brother. That I do remember. And I'm pretty sure I gave him the teddy bear. I just don't remember what I did afterward. But yeah, I need to recruit the rat catcher guy. Maybe I'll try to recruit the kid if he's there. Yeah, it's a really solid little RPG with a little bit of a horror twist. So.
And I was mistaken. That was not the final update. It's still getting little miniature updates with content and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, really good. Really happy about that. But like I said, I got my outside of that, I got like a backlog where it's like I need to just kind of go through it. I saw they had I forget if it's like the Epic Store or something, but like they were having what was it called? Yeah, Eternite. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, oh, I already saw Lucky do this, so.
Yeah, I still haven't completed that game. We still have to go gay for the last person so we can romance everybody. We have to recruit like the cool, mysterious Bishi boy still. So like I have to do that, and then we can have our harem ending.
You gotta get the dream boyfriend.
The dream boyfriend.
Because right, you meet him in like while you're dreaming,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I met him while I'm dreaming. Like, yeah, you can definitely tell like it was like the okay, yeah, we like this is gonna be like the token gay option if you really want, because like they shove them at you at the very end after all those dream sequences. Like, okay, build up everything now. It's like ah. But no, I promise, when we come back, I will save Scum the fuck in order to make sure every day is perfect so we can max out everybody's romance. And then we will see what happens there. Because I was having so much fun with that game. It's one of those like little like titles where it's like, oh, I love it. I love this concept. I like the aesthetic. I feel like animations definitely could use more polish, but considering it's like probably like I think it was, I can't remember if it was just that guy or it was like him and like 2 or 3 other people, but like it was like, you know, I love those little success stories and stuff. So my hope is, I definitely hope to see more from that creator in the future.
Another horror game that I'd recommend is, what's it called? It's something to do with, not The Forest. The Forest is a survival game.
All right. Nobre posted a game I was kind of curious about recently. What was it? What was it that you posted, Nobre? It was here in the recommend suggestions. Yeah, Eclipsium. That was the one where I was like, oh, this one kind of looks good too.
I've heard of that. But it's the game I was talking about is Darkwood. It's a top-down.
Oh yeah, I own that one already. I've done.
Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I played in the past. I can't remember if I beat it though. It's been a while. That I don't remember. It's weird. There are like I still there's like games that like I have apparently gotten, but I'm like I don't remember getting this, and I've made like returns on them. I'm like this is like this I feel like was a mistake. It's one of those things where I seriously have to question if I somehow get myself drunk without drinking. That or my goldfish memory is just that bad that I managed to somehow mindlessly buy some stuff, and then I'm like, how did I get this? Like months later. Thank God Steam's refund policy is so generous.
Yeah, that is a very nice thing about Steam.
Yeah, nothing there for the assassins. I didn't mention the one at... Okay, Xavier, correct me if I'm wrong. There is no signs of Deathroot at the Sainted Hero's grave, right? Like, there's no skeletons. There's no, like, little Godwin eyeballs on the walls. Like, I'm pretty sure it's
I don't think there's any at... I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's any signs of Deathroot at any of the heroes' graves.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, there's the Black Knife Assassin that's, like, collapsed out front. So I'm wondering if the idea was, oh, this place is connected to Godwin. There might be Deathroot here. And then she explored the whole place, and then she comes out being like, damn, there was no Deathroot. And she's just like, you know, moping all tired on the floor. I'm wondering if that's supposed to be the idea. Because I, for the life of me, can't imagine otherwise. Why the hell she decides she's, like, in front of that hero's grave? You know? Again, it makes sense in the context of, oh, this place has a history with Godwin. Godwin's connected to the Deathroot. I also find it funny there's that one assassin who apparently didn't get the memo that Marika's gone missing. Like, right there in front of the bedchamber, like, aw, I went through all this trouble getting past the guards with torches that outright go through my invisibility. I somehow invaded them in order to infiltrate into Langdell again, just so I could kill Marika, and she's not there. I do find that absolutely hilarious. I wish they used the special Erdtree Cross sigil that they created just for apparently catacombs, from all indications. You know, the ones with the burial roots.
It's only in concept art, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunately. Like, that would have been so cool to include that. I would have liked it a lot. Like, it'd be so perfect for these shadow things to give them a unique one. But instead, they just use the generic cross. Yeah, absolutely nothing. It is just rotten bodies, shadow buddies, and the Wraith guys, the Revenants. No one's theorized on why we have a bunch of multi-armed blue corpse guys either, right?
Blue corpse guys?
The bell ringers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's been any, like, theories on their identity. Hi, sir. Whoever was the asshole who thought, you know what, this Royal Revenant area needs another Royal Revenant to spawn in when you come back. Like, whoever thought that was just evil.
Well, have you been in the, what would you call it? The lower area of
oh, the Hailing Tree, yeah, that's evil
yeah.
too. But that one, at least they space them out, you know?
I guess, yeah.
This one, it's like literally, oh, here's one, and then you're like, oh, I'm safe, I killed the enemy. And as soon as you come back up there, it's the other one. I'm not saying that the Hailing Tree is any better, but like, at the very least, it's like, You get ambushed, I recall, by one of them. And then the others are just like walking around, right? Or do they all come out of the ground and ambush you?
They all come out of the ground.
Oh, okay, then you know what? It's not that much different. Well, okay, actually, you know, I will say this. They give you the chance to stealth when it happens. That is the nice thing. They give you some opportunity to stealth. You can't really do that in the hero's grave there. But yeah, only thing I can think of then is that the reason why we have the Black Knife Assassin exhausted here is that she had a bit of a dummy moment and decided that she was gonna go look for Deathroot in the place connected to Godwyn, even though that's not how that works.
I believe that's also the one that drops the actual dagger.
Mm-hmm. The Black Knife Assassin's Dagger, you mean?
Yeah, the black knife.
Yeah, the actual black knife
The
wielded by the
titular
Black
black knife. Yeah.
Crazy. Also, do the normal sheep do this the rolling attack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they don't attack you with it, but yeah, they'll roll away from you.
Okay. Because I couldn't remember if the golden sheep were the only ones who roll or not. What weird ass sheep that roll?
The developers were having fun.
Yeah, for sure. But like, listen, it's fantasy. We can have our sheep roll as a defense mechanism. Wow, I've never seen that before. I just saw a golden sheep get zapped by lightning right in front of me and die. Man, how unfortunate for that guy. You know what they say? There's like, I don't know, like 1,000,000 chance to get struck by lightning.
More likely to die to a vending machine.
More likely to die to... Well, unfortunately, there are no vending machines in the lands between, so...
Not yet.
Not yet. Raya Lucaria will invent them, trust. I'm pretty sure I have shots of the tree sentinels with the torch, so I think we're good there. I don't even remember if I mentioned the torch in the analysis, but even if I do, like, I think we have that all set there. Yeah, like, that's the problem with this night. There's, like, not that much to work with. I guess maybe I can, like... I guess maybe I could create a female character... Oh, no, but I have to go all the way to Ordina to get the Black Knife outfit, so... Yeah...
The armor will look the same no matter what. You know, I need a... Well, you can change your character.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. You can go to the mirror. Make myself a dainty lady. So we can get all the right curves on that Black Knife armor. Does it, do you show your face when you wear the armor?
I think so.
Yeah, then maybe you're right. Maybe it is just art style thing. The thing that still wouldn't make sense is that it's even without the veil, you still have like the shadow blood thing or what have you. But yeah.
Yeah, and immune to all stats effects except frostbite.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact: when you modify the armor,
Yeah.
you take away the phantasmal veil, and removing that veil also removes the muffled footsteps.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So it's specifically that ghost veil that's enchanted to do that, Which is, I'm assuming, the same fabric as the talisman that you get that has the same effect.
Yeah, the art style thing on the hoods also makes sense because I think in the intro they show like hair coming out of some of the hoods, though they don't show the faces.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure on some of them. I remember seeing it. So let me just double check then. I don't remember where I put it though. Might be under my edits. Godwin. That's the cinematic trailer. I want to look at the intro cutscene. I'm pretty sure they just didn't bother modeling for the cinematic any faces on the hoods. They also portray the veils differently there. Like it's more like a shadowy effect on the end and stuff. So who knows what was going on there. Yeah, I don't see it here, so it might just be under Elden Ring. I know I have all the artwork. Is it under concept art? No. Oh, they do have shots of this stuff though. Yeah, apparently I do have shots of this. So the question is, do I have the Night of the Black Knives somewhere in here? God, this is all manner of what the hell am I looking at? Ah, here it is. Okay. Good enough.
I am playing a 3-man of all scholars against the Dreglord.
Well, good luck there, man. You somehow got that far so clearly.
No, we're not at the Dreglord. We're at Great Red Bear.
Oh. Good luck.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, you can see here, there's strands of long hair here. And the artwork might show more here. It's hard to tell there. There's also like a pattern here at the edge of the hoods, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. It's, what's it called? Filigree? It's the little, like, the plant flourishes.
Is that on the veil too? I don't remember that.
Not on the veil, because the veil is just like this ephemeral thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it has any patterns on it.
Yeah. It's hard to tell here whether or not they're trying to depict the veil or not. Granted, it's art, so there could be details. But yeah, it looks like they bothered to put hair that comes beneath the hood, like long hair on these women. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
I might remove the detail about the missing faces as like an art style thing, or that, or I'll mention it, but I will note the hair that they appear with in this artwork here. Yeah, they only do it for these two, though.
Or they're kind of like the centerpiece. Oh, not that. They're like the focus.
Mm-hmm.
The centerpiece is obviously, Godwin getting stabbed.
Of course.
What's that weird torch?
Yeah, it's a unique torch here that they're showing. I mentioned this. I assume the fact that they're using a torch here tells us that it was so late at night that Godwin 100% went to bed by this point. And the idea is they're using the torch so they can better see while they engrave this in here. We also see the assassins leave along with the torchlight in the cinematic. So that would be consistent there. For me, the thing is that they have to kind of do it where, like, in a very, very quick manner, they need to take Godwin, drag him out of bed, restrain his arms like we see here. Two of them have to quickly restrain his arms. So he's like on the floor, and they have to start stabbing him with this, and they have to do all this before he can even possibly make a sound that his personal guard could hear. Now, I'm going to give Miyazaki and Martin the benefit of the doubt and say that the guards just aren't going to be, you know, sitting outside Godwin's bedchamber, right? Like, they're gonna be, like, I don't know, in the lobby or something, right? Like, they're not gonna be, like, literally right next door to him. They're gonna at the very least be far enough away that they're not gonna notice a torch suddenly going on in his room, right? Maybe someone outside patrolling might, but then, like, that's not gonna be too suspicious because, you know, sometimes people get up and they do torches or whatever, right? Like, if you're, like, some guard, like, patrolling the streets of Langdell, like, you're not gonna mind seeing something like that, right? You're not gonna get suspicious about anything. You're just gonna be like, oh, that's a you know, a curiosity. I guess I should switch characters. I want to go back to Langdell. So yeah, the only thing I can think of... Oh, wait, Mary. There we go. Yeah, you guys don't need it to be that large. Like, the only thing I can think of is that they brought a torch because they knew it was going to be dark and they needed to clearly see what they were doing when it came to carving on Godwin's back. They had to light the torch after they enter his room. They have to drag him out of bed before he wakes up. As they're dragging him out of bed, they have to restrain his arms, and then they have to start carving it in before he can make a sound. So they have to do this real quick. Now, to be fair, this is very much possible because we see what the grab attack these women can do, right? How they, like, very fluidly, like, grab your face, swoop around, pull you down. You, like, bend your spine backwards as they push down your face and then strike you decisively within, like, what, like 2 seconds? Like, it's possible for them to do that really quick. And if the idea is with our character is that our character can do that without making a sound because we're so, like, surprised by what's happening so quickly, I think you could say the same for Godwin. And to be realistic, Godwin, if he's, like, you know, Godwin's not going to be making much sound if he's getting stabbed. Like, all the air is, like, especially through the back, like, all the air is, like, you know, like, coming out of him. It's going to be relatively quiet, I think. Could Godwin possibly have been drugged beforehand or something? Well, Crown of Solomon, I don't think so.
There is sleep magic.
There is.
Once again.
There is, yes. The problem is, I wouldn't want to rely on that explanation too much, especially with Ronnie, right? So Ronnie has shown the ability.
But there is the Night of Wintry Fog.
Yeah, there is the Night of the Wintry Fog, right? But, like, with what we know, I don't want to resort on just saying, oh, all the relevant parties happen to be drugged, right? I think the less we're trying to assume there's now these additional factors of, I don't know, they're sprinkling, like, magic sleep dust on Godwin, so he's, like, out cold while they're doing all this, I think the better. But yes, it is at least theoretically possible that they could come up with some means to incapacitate Godwin to make it easier for them to do this. But even assuming that isn't the case, I feel like it's feasible that they could get killed. Like, they could just, like, very quickly kill the demigods before they make much noise. Because here's the thing, if the idea is that they're going to, like, sneak in with, like, magical stuff that turns them invisible and, like, it makes it where they make no sound and stuff, I feel like you don't need to bother with using the magical stuff on the target. Just kill the target quick enough after you sneak up on them, all stealthy like. But yeah, that would be the only thing is, like, they have to do this, like, you know, they have to execute this flawlessly, which, again, if we're supposed to believe these are, like, assassins who are coordinating things down to the time, right? Like I said before, that was the hardest thing I think you could imagine is how the hell are they timing this? Like, is it just like they're looking at like the astro? You know what? Actually, even if I say that, how the hell are you timing astrology here in under the Erd tree? You know. So yeah, however they're able to time this so that way they don't have to worry about Godwyn or you know the timing going off between when Ronnie does it and when Godwyn gets killed. If they have a way to do that, I feel like they don't need to go for the sedatives and stuff. They can just be like, okay, we got to kill this guy quick. Yeah, not much nighttime. Not much nighttime here. Like, granted, it's not like, oh my god, it's so bright, but like, you know? Still a pretty bright night, all things considered. Granted, they're doing it indoors, so at the very least, like, it could be darker.
Are they doing it indoors? I thought they're doing it out in the streets because of the floor tiling.
It's different floor tiling. Let's go back to it. It's solid, it's a solid, like net, solid square tiles, or diamond tiles if you prefer. You can time it using the astral plane. Again, I can imagine there's like a magical device or some magic or something you could use to do it. It's one of those holes where I'm like, I would like an actual explanation on this, because this is one of the areas where it's like, are we supposed to believe that, like, oh, don't worry, there's a perfect magic spell for them to coordinate timing and stuff like that? Again, I can imagine it. It's one of those kind of like speculative things where I would like them to have included it here. But yeah, you can see the floor tiles here. I don't think they're doing it out on the street. Let's compare it actually to the houses, see if we see something similar indoors here.
Indoors?
Yeah, you have the like same similar floor tiles inside too. So I don't think they're doing it on the street. That makes zero sense to me. Why would you bother to drag Godwyn all the way outside in the middle of the night just to do this?
Wow.
If you could do this in his house, like, just do it. I wonder if there's any fancy designs on here. No, just, you know, typical rug. The devices and the magic rises. What devices in the sorcery towers are you talking about, Man? Like, I can't think of anywhere it'd be like, oh yeah, we're gonna judge time by that. Wow, that was easy. Yeah, I didn't realize those things are so easy to do. I just think that if you were going to kill the demigod who could stand on equal footing to insert ancient dragon, you'd want every advantage to minimize the chance of the plan going foobar. Well, to be fair, they brought 8 guys, or well, 1, 2. I guess you can argue whether or not that's another guy or not. So they brought up to 8 guys or girly pops for a 3-man job, clearly. So I do think they over-prepared just in case something went wrong and, like, I don't know, Godwyn woke up, like, you know, too quickly or something.
And these are Newman. So these are like, this is like a divine race.
Well, I don't know how much that's playing a role, because we can also be a Newman, and, like, it doesn't give us special powers, so.
Well, we are just the main character, so I don't know.
Historically, they drag people outside. You talk about the devices still, Man? Because I don't know what you're talking about. The closest I can think of that, like, the sorcery towers that would be relevant is, like, the invisibility tower, right? But yeah, we already have the invisibility sorceries in Celia, so that's fun. Oh, as in you're talking about like there's some real world analogs or something like that. Because we do have some like astrological reading devices. Again, I don't know how practical those would be for judging time though. Would this one work? Yeah, I have no idea where direction I'm going. There we go. Oh, I never opened it on this. Okay, never mind. Oh, let's go to another tower that's not as cringe.
Cringe.
Not letting me go inside instantly when I haven't done your puzzle. So cringe. The cringiest of cringe. Oh, I've not opened any of these goddamn towers. Never mind. We do have hourglasses, but I mean, hourglass is still not able because like that could easily go wrong if you're arriving too early or too late. So it's still not very good. Ideally, what they would want, like I said, either you have a device that somehow lets you essentially give like a magical signal, like a light goes off or something, right? So you could, it doesn't matter how far you are. Like Electo and company could get the signal there, right? Or you like do something where like you follow the moon, though for Electo and company, I don't know how practical that'd be when you have the giant Erd tree blocking the way.
Well, you also say they're indoors.
Yeah. Yeah, but like we know there's like, we see like, you know, nightlight come in after the torchlight disappears in the cinematic. So there could be a window or something that's open, right? At the very least, you have like well, we don't really have glass that we see in the houses there, but like at the very least, you can give the idea that there's like, you know, some way that they could look at the sky if they need to. But again, I don't know how practical that would be. The other option is some kind of device that, kind of like the torch. It's like a mundane device, but it has ability to track time better than an hourglass, at least in terms of timing from when they left. And they all know, okay, we have to go like at this point or at this juncture on this device or something.
It could be that the torch is enchanted and like it slowly flickers out.
But then again, that comes the problem of they're traveling around invisible with a torch that lights up everything around them, right? And they had that on this whole time. Like that sounds like that makes it harder for them not to get caught. Versus, you know, you light the torch once you're in the area where you're gonna need it to carve in the curse mark. Not hourglasses. Check normal ones like Ronnie or Celibus, the converted bad. I mean, I don't have a problem checking the different towers I'm in, but like I'm just trying to like go over that. I don't think what we're looking at here is like I don't think any of these devices here. Like I don't think these are going to be able to, like, even assuming you have a tiny convertible ones, because I think some of these can get pretty small. I don't know if any of these devices are going to be able to tell the time. There's another one here as well, but same deal. Torch lights up when it's time. That could work, Solomon. If it was some sort of torch that was enchanted, so that way it only would turn, like, you could turn it on, but it would only actually go on and light itself when the allotted time was set, that is actually reasonable. I think that's probably, like, a decent possibility. Yeah, nothing here, unfortunately. Let's try Celibus. Sorry, only partially paying attention. It's fine. We only need partial attention. We're just talking about potential brainstorming ideas, after all.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fully bought into this conversation.
Yes, of course, after all. You and the other 2 scholars as you're all dying to Mr. Dreglord.
It ended horribly.
Wow, who would have thought? 3 scholars don't make the best team. I forgot I haven't unlocked Celavis's thing yet.
His thing?
His tower.
Oh.
We have unlocked his tower.
He didn't,
I think you can get to the second floor though using these the walls. The Rolana walls. I do like that these walls are now recontextualized because we now know who Rolana is, you know? Well, it's like, yeah, of course, the Night Sister of the family is going to build a bunch of walls at the edge overlooking the land beneath where the castle manor is. Like, of course she would. Yeah, just hourglasses. I could have swore there was a another, like, an astrolabe or something, but I can't seem to find one. Yeah, except for torches and things, but that's it. Lol, clipping. It's always funny for me when I, like, you know, going through the game the first time, I was like, wow, it's so impressive with the world. And it's like, you go through the game the 99th time, it's like, ah, okay, look, another little mistake they made there. But yeah, the point is, like, that's probably, I think, the biggest hole, I think. Like, that's something where, like, I got nothing for you. Like, sure, is there a theoretical possibility? Yeah, but I'm not sure if I would want to commit to any of them as an explanation as is. Like, all I would be saying is, like, yeah, maybe it was magic. Right? Like I said, that's yeah, like I said, the right card stuff and the horse thing, I think, is a bit shame, because it's like, okay, we're just gonna have to be a bit speculative. At least the horse thing, I'm like, well, it's literally the mode of transport. It's a special horse. Like, at some point, we have to kind of accept that, you know, that's enough to at least tell us that they thought at least it was sufficient to the task, right? So that won't work. The right card thing also, again, I would like a little bit more, but at some point we have to kind of also accept there. It's like, okay, well, he has to do something. And what is it that the Lord of Volcano Manor can possibly contribute? It's probably making sure that you give notice for when Valaketh is coming by and keeping him distracted afterwards, so like that stuff I'm willing to do. So the timing thing is like, okay, nothing we really can talk about there to explain. Everything else is pretty solid. Like I said, once you account for travel times and stuff, you're like, okay, so steal it from Malekith in Volcano Manor, travel all the way over to Karian Study Hall, forge the blades, forge the Blasphemous Claw. Everyone goes out. You have to have at least like 1 or 2 assassins going down here by the Weeping Peninsula and Castle Morn, because we have like 2 demigods dead there. None in the Caelid area, none in the Limgrave area. You got some of them like right next door here in Liurnia, probably attending the academy. We're good there. We have to go all the way over to Langdell, of course, so that's one that you got, like I said, like 8 of them there. You gotta at least have a few having to go down to the Nameless Eternal City, but again, you can do that from Langdell, so that's fine. Go all the way up to Castle Sol and Ordina. Again, if they're going to Langdell, they may as well also go do the sneaky sneak up there. So again, all of that is feasible if we're relying on the idea that they got some magic horses. Now, granted, I will say, I don't know how the hell they're getting the horses past Langdell stuff so they can go to the Forbidden Lands. Again, maybe the teleporting, maybe like they have some like teleporting slip space so they can like teleport through Langdell and all over the Forbidden Lands and keep going or whatever. But like, again, that's the part where it's like, okay, don't know exactly how they're doing it, but they're somehow doing it. So like, again, if they're using horses that can speed up the process so it's actually feasible to do all that in a single night, then yeah, the only question is then, well, like, let's assume it's like 2-3 a.m. when they kill Godwyn, right? Then it's just a matter of, okay, they try to, I don't know, spend the next hour or whatever it takes them to like sneak themselves out of the city, out of the ramparts, and then go to wherever they had the horses stashed. and just take the horses and ride off into the sunset. We're fine. And like I said, either A, they bungled everything so hard at the end that they ended up running into somebody before they used their goddamn invisibility cloaks to hide themselves, right? Or like Malekith had come home, like basically not long after the assassination of Godwyn, and everyone was put on high alert and all that stuff because Rykard basically essentially sold them out by once he got the hands on the claw. As I say, it's like it would be as simple as the assassin comes in to deliver the blasphemous claw. Rykard kills the assassin, shows Malekith the body and the weapon and all that. Malekith is obviously going to recognize what the sword is, and you know, at that point, I don't know if Rykard even has to really explain to Malekith, but whether or not, it's like you just have to be like, oh yeah, I like, you know, if they got the power of the destined death and they're attacking me, then maybe they're attacking the others too, and Marika could be in danger, and then obviously you're gonna have Malekith rushing home just to make sure Marika's okay. And once Marika hears any of this whole, a bunch of assassins are coming in, they're obviously gonna put the entire city on high alert, and then suddenly Alecto and company now have a lot harder job. What about ad hoc teleports? Okay, so here would be the question about any ad hoc teleports. Because I think I get what you're trying to say, I-Man. What if they use, like, the warp gates, right? Like what we see, what's a good example? Let's do the one on the Divine Bridge. Right? Like, what if in advance they set up a bunch of warp gates so they went from spot to spot across that? Because we know these warp gates can get you pretty far, right? I have only one problem with this. We see them riding, and it looks like, based on the trailer, it has to be somewhere on these northern areas, right? And the problem I have with this is, what's the point of the horses, period? Like, why are you even bothering riding on the horses if you could just have a bunch of warp gates set up at the study hall and just warp from there, right? Like, just, like, warp yourself, I don't know, like, set one up, like, next, somewhere in some hidden area next to the gate here. Set one up, somewhere in the forests of Weeping Peninsula there. Same thing with Nameless Eternal City, because I assume they would have, like, good free access to the city from Leyndell, so, like, point is like, I get what you're saying, I-Man. I agree with you, that would be a smart way to handle that, but I don't know if that jives with the horses. So I don't know if Miyazaki or Martin were considering the idea that they could just drop some warp gates and cheese it like that. Because I do agree with you. If that was the plan, I would definitely have felt personally like it would be more secure on, you know, it actually succeeding, right? But I don't know if warp gates are really the realistic answer, if they are going to be bothering with their special, like, funeral horses for all this. We have chests. Oh, yeah, I agree with you, I-Man. I agree with you. The problem is that there's no point in the Black Knives riding on horseback at all, then. Because you just have to set up all the chests or warp gates or whatever you have close enough anyway. Again, you could say that's just an oversight of the writing. They did not consider the fact that the game was going to have teleport chests and warp gates. So neither Martin or Miyazaki factored that in when it came to this entire assassination thing. Honestly, in general, that kind of makes assassinations kind of really, like, really stupid easy. Like, hell, if you have an inside man, you could theoretically set a warp gate up somewhere in Leyndell. Like, just find a bush or something you can hide it in and just make sure you do the job before that thing could possibly be discovered, right? Port key from Harry Potter. They went to Wood to teleport to Stadium. Again, I would say that's a problem with Harry Potter then, I mean. Because again, if you can, again, there's no indications that warp gates need to be X amount of distance or something like that. Or same with the chests, right? If you could theoretically put those anywhere, why not put them at the place where you're staging everything, right? Like, put them on top of the Divine Tower if you're gonna bother there, right? Again, I just don't think any teleportation gates, like, okay, let me put it like this. I think if there is any teleportation involved, it would have to be through the horses. Because there is absolutely 0 point to have any of the horses or anything there otherwise. And the idea that it's like, okay, we're gonna get special horses that we're gonna use, and that's Langdell has to, again, that's another thing we have to consider, is that Langdell has to get their hands on these horses. They have to get their hands on these horses, and it has to be in a location where there's no way they could possibly suspect or trace it back to Ronnie or Rykard or anybody involved in the conspiracy, right? And the only way that really makes sense is if it's in the vicinity of Langdell. So they have to have taken the horses to ride very close. And again, if they didn't, if the idea is like, oh, they took the horses, rode into the forest, found a random warp gate in the middle of the forest, and then they warped over here, and then took the horses to also get closer. And the question is, why not take a warp gate from, like, here, and just set it up so it goes straight, I don't know, like here or something. It accomplishes the same goal. And it doesn't require you to waste any time with any of this whole getting a horse riding on horseback to anywhere part. You know how messengers would swap to fresh horses at checkpoints to go nonstop? What if they had horses set up at already made gates, transport, 1, transport, and 2, lose those tailing them? What if they had horses set up at already made gates? Again, why bother with the horses? Because you could just set up the gates close enough that you don't need the horses, period, right? And this is the problem. If they're going to the trouble to set up these gates, then there's no need for the horses, period. Right? Like, they're completely superfluous. It doesn't, you don't need the funeral horses, you don't need regular horses, you don't need horses. They may as well be dogs for all you care, because you're not going to need them. You're just going to teleport to the place, you're going to get out, and once you get out, you're just going to teleport back. Right? And we know these gates can be turned off too, so if you're concerned about people pursuing you, all you need to, again, like, let's assume, like, worst case scenario, you do get found out, you're being chased, well, you have the teleport gate anyway, so you just have to then destroy the other gate. Like, there are definitely workarounds. Again, I just don't think the teleport gates were being considered at all by Martin, by Miyazaki, and certainly not by any of the game developers working on this. So I think the most likely situation is that they didn't use any teleport gates. I mean, gates that are in the base game. The Assassins didn't make any of their own. I don't know if there's any gates in the base game that would be convenient for this, though. Like, again, so here, if the idea is that Malekith is the Malekith, okay, so Malekith, let's say Malekith leaves him, departs in the morning. Malekith goes, he's doing his periodic check to make sure Rykard is doing a good job on Gelmir, and that we're not going to have any repeat of what happened during the Glowmite Queen stuff, right? He's doing that for his wonderful sister and Queen Marika, right? He leaves at some point, like, in the evening. So let's assume the night takes place from, like, sundown to sun up. So let's give it, like, roughly 12-hour period. So, like, he's about to leave in the evening, right? Nightfall is happening. He gets jumped. He gets some of the runes stolen from him, but he manages to basically break free. They have to flee, right? Now, if they have special horses that can somehow help them get away faster, that's great. If they have warp gates, okay, that also works, assuming that they had the route and all that stuff there. But again, there is, of course, the problem that whether the warp gates get discovered or, you know, it's going to lead them back to the hideout or something like that. Like, there's definitely problems already there, right? But they have to take the horses then, get all the way over here. Ronnie's got to do the ritual and stuff. They get the daggers. Then they have to ride out now and get to the various locations. One down south, most of them there up north, a few of them right next door, so it's not that hard. Strange chest in Weeping leads to capital. That is also true. But again, there's still the problem of, okay, you have to steal it, get down to the chest, and then you have to take the chest in order to sneak yourself in. That doesn't involve you taking horseback up north here, right? Again, all of this has to happen on the same night. This is the big time limitation. Everything from stealing Destined Death from Malekith, without him being able to trace it back to you in the conspiracy, and without you being able to kill him, right? That has to happen. Them getting it all forged into the Black Knives has to happen. And then them all getting themselves in position has to happen with enough time being, with it all being set up so that way they can coordinate the timing so that way Ronnie and Godwyn both end up getting killed at the same time. Same with the, and then the rest of them all spring into action afterward. Granted, it doesn't take that long, so you can definitely say it's like, oh, it was all done like in 15, 30 minutes after when the other timing was done. So like, again, that's not unreasonable. But yeah, again, that's the problem, is that you have to, let's assume that they use chests instead of warp gates, right? Let's say warp gates, for whatever reason, are too difficult to set up for them, even though they have all this time and potential resources and stuff, right? Like, theoretically, if anyone, the people in Liurnia, Caria, and Celia should know how to make warp gates, because we see them have them. Hell, like, several warp gates literally leading to Caria Manor, right? Again, I think it's just a plot hole in the writing, guys. I think Miyazaki and Martin were not considering teleportation gates or chests of any kind, and I don't think the devs were trying to use them to fill in gaps in the timeline either. I think you're always gonna have the problem where it becomes more convoluted to try to explain how they're able to cross all these vast distances, right? Because we have to keep in mind, that's the big thing. The lands between isn't one-to-one to scale. Same thing with the land Realm of Shadow, and that's already an area that's bigger than compared to the lands between relative size. So everything has to essentially happen in one night. That has to make more sense than them just deciding we're gonna have horses that can somehow get to from one destination, from here to there, well, from here to there, and then there to here, and same thing like here down to there, and here all the way there, like all these different disparate locations from, you know, arguably the center here in Liurnia, all within one night. And we'll, again, to be generous, we have to we'll define that night as like a 12-hour period. Realistically, it's probably closer to like 6 to 8 hours, but like, that's the problem. Is that, again, if we say that, oh, they could just set up teleportation, then the obvious answer would be just set up a teleportation chest here and like, I don't know, somewhere in the woods out here, and then they will walk the rest of the way. And then obviously same thing with the others. Just set up teleportation tests in all the locations. Their horses were well fed, duh. Yeah, again, I think the explanation that like these are special spirit horses that can somehow, some way, either they have like super speed or they can like slip through space in the night or some whatever bullshit you want to come up with. I think that's probably more likely to be intentional and is the reason why they have these horses than anything. And then the only question would be, okay, well, why didn't they take the horses back or whatever? And we could just justify that on the whole, everything was chaotic when the ones in Leyndell at least were pulling out or whatever, and so they don't have any of the horses there on them. Again, you could maybe argue maybe some of the ones over here should have had the horses then or something. Same thing with like down here maybe. Because unless there's somehow they're able to alert literally the entire lands between at the same time. By the way, there's like an emergency happening at the capital. Everyone be on high alert for assassins. It may be, but like assuming that like, they don't have that capability, just have instant cell phone communication essentially. The only other thing I can think of, this would exclude the horses. They have something akin to Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind's mark and recall spells. Yeah, some other magic or stuff would have to also be at play, right? But then again, this goes to the problem of, okay, there's some bullshit spell for everything, right? Like, oh, bullshit spell to make sure, like, why, you know, were they able to get it safely without Godwyn making any noise? Oh, some bullshit spell to incapacitate him, right? How are they able to, like, well, we already have this, like, bullshit magical invisibility cloaks, but like that's at least well justified because, you know, Celia, invisibility, trains assassins, right? Like that's all something that's like, okay, we have a good lore backing for it, right? But then you're like, oh, okay, how do they get through with the horses? Bullshit magical teleporting thing with the horses. Like this is the problem we're working with, is that we have to assume that there's that this happened, somehow it did happen. How realistic can we do it without resorting to saying, oh no, it was some bullshit magic that we don't know for sure if it exists or not? But yeah, that would be the only other thing I would be able to think of either, is like, okay, it has to be through some magic or something, right? Which again, could be with Ranni, but like, again, I'm not sure if that's the best explanation or necessarily the intentional one. Yeah, so as is, it would be, if we can't rely on teleporting chests or warp gates as the answer, it's probably just the funeral horses. Because unfortunately, the funeral horses we know have some weird magical bullshit like with Torrent going on with them, and we know how Torrent can make traversing areas easier with how he like has the spirit springs he can jump in. So if you have these horses with the strange like night association and all that stuff, then maybe they can do something at nighttime that can help them get through places faster. Unfortunately, the actual Knights Cavalry boss is very disappointing, so we don't really get much of an idea of what they can do. So if there's some magical bullshit that the horses can do, they would be like, oh yeah, they just like, I don't know, they just like freaking like warp gated their way like every like 30 minutes or something, you know? The horses can gather up energy and do something like that or whatever. And that's how they were able to go like, you know, miles and miles to cross through these locations, right? And then you have the knives. So that, again, the knives, everything that's explanatory. Like I was saying earlier to you, Xavier, the only other thing we got is essentially the question about Ranni's signature. Like that would probably be the biggest variable that I feel if I was Ranni and Rykard, I wouldn't want to risk this, but we know it did happen. So either A, some assassins were killed and they were able to examine them anyway, which again makes the whole betrayal disposable thing still like oh, why are you gonna risk this? Like obviously if they succeed in killing them, they're gonna get the bodies. So the best explanation is that Ranni felt pretty goddamn secure that nobody was gonna be able to find her signature inside the knife print, no matter what they did, because they don't have Rajir's situation where he's cursed by bullshit, you know, death thing that went through his spine and he lived to tell the tale. Torrent does have the weird sledgy effect funeral horse set though. I agree, no Bray. Again, I'm saying that if they're anything like Torrent, where like there's some kind of spirit horse of some variety, and if what we see with Torrent is something like being able to like jump essentially really high and scale large cliff sides and stuff, I'm willing to at least posit that there's a good possibility that similarly magical spirit horses have similar magical spirit things that could dramatically shorten a journey. Now, whether or not that would still make it feasible with the whole timing and stuff, who knows? Again, the worst case scenario is we just have to accept that the Night of the Black Knives makes absolutely no goddamn sense. Neither Martin nor Miyazaki considered the time constraints of being able to accomplish a coordinated assassination attempt across an entire continent in a single night at the same time that they also have to secure the means and create the blades and all that stuff. And that all of this was just not considered whatsoever. But again, we're giving here we give the developers the benefit of the doubt to the maximum extent we're able. And the fact that they went to the trouble of giving them the Night Cavalry's funeral horses, right, is telling me that at the very least they feel those funeral horses are contributing something significant to the plot. Because otherwise just use normal horses. Like, it doesn't matter what horses you use. Like if the concern is like the breed, just like, I don't know, import some breeds from like some random location in the Weeping Peninsula or something. Didn't Bonfire VN or Zlosky cover the Night Cavalry and their horses also? I'm sure Bonfire VN has a video. The thing is that there's not much to say about the horses beyond what we took. Like, we took the screenshots earlier, no, but I don't know if you were there. Undead / skeleton horses don't tire. The problem is not the tiring. Okay, so here's the problem. These are, these waypoints, these are essentially in towns. These, in history, were essentially public rest stops. In Japan, during the Edo period, the government essentially set up these, like, hot spring spa resort type towns that essentially existed so that way when public officials were using the highways to get across Japan, they would be able to use these places as public rest stops, right? And they'd be able to stay over the night, you know, rest, relax, feed the horses, blah, blah, blah. And then they would continue on, right? The point of having stuff like this, or like the one over in Caelid or something, you could argue to a lesser extent like the Purified Ruins here. The point of having stuff like this is to acknowledge that while we can travel on Torrent across the entire Lands Between in like under an hour, I think it's like 30 minutes you could even theoretically get through here. There's clearly the idea that the Lands Between is not to scale, and that realistically it would take you several days to make the travel. So the idea that we have these assassins going from, like, again, theoretically, from Gelmir to the tower, then all the way back up to as far as Castle Sol or Castle Morn, that stuff is something where you're like, okay, they are somehow able to take journeys which would take them an entire day, realistically, at the very minimum, and truncate that down to maybe an hour, right? Because again, it all has to happen within a single night. So, like, every like bit of second counts here. Like, they really can't waste time. Yeah, so let's, like, looking at the shots I've already got in here. Yeah, I'll leave this open just in case, but let's open another one. Screenshots. Okay, yeah, here we go. Don't you fall, you damn bastard. So, right, we got this. We got the weird night cloud thing happening here. You got the, these, like, little, ripple effects. And then starts coming out. And this is the muck stuff, right? It's like black, mucky red. It continues to drip the stuff even afterward, though, like Xavier pointed out, that could just be the idea that, like, it just has a lot on it that it's coming out of it, right? Like, it's coming out of this weird mucky portal. Kind of reminds me of, like, Vort and the Dancer, now that you because you were mentioning, like, Artorias and stuff earlier, Xavier. Kind of now that you mention it, kind of reminds me of, like, when Vort and Dancer come out, like, their little teleportation portal. But yeah, that's the problem. We have to assume that these are magic horses, because otherwise there's no point in going to the trouble of getting these magic horses. As I said, I don't know how they get them. Maybe Miquella. Because if Miquella has a connection to Torrent and stuff like that, and Miquella, like, got Torrent from the spirit realm or whatever, then it's possible that Miquella, if he was roped into this conspiracy, could have also found and provided these horses for the assassins to use. I can totally see it, though. Again, I'm gonna have to look very closely before I start accusing Miquella of conspiring to to kill Godwyn, especially considering like Miquella makes such a big deal about trying to save Godwyn and the other demigods. That would be unless, again, this is a big unless like the idea is like he didn't know what Ronnie was using the horses for, and now then he becomes afraid to admit it to everybody publicly because technically he had unknowingly be part of the conspiracy. But again, that seems like such a huge ask. Like, would you really, like, just imagine this, Xavier. Would you trust your stepbrother to not tattle on you after you unknowingly roped him in to help him supply you the transport, which was used for a bunch of assassins to do this thing? And then he later finds out that the horses used in the assassination were like found like just outside your city after the event. Like, I don't know. I feel like being like, don't worry, he'll keep quiet about it. There's no way he'll tell on us. At least with betraying the Black Knives, I'm like, okay, like they're getting the death penalty. Like, even if they wanted to spite Ronnie, I don't think anyone's gonna give them the time of day to listen at this point. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna think they're credible.
I think it's just kind of funny for Ronnie to walk up to Miquella and be like, "Hey, I want to commission like the evilest looking fucking spirit horses that you can get for no reason, Miquella. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, you know, just gonna go sightseeing with Radahn. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, maybe the argument could be had that he didn't realize that the curse mark of death, because really the problem is those who live in death. That's what Miquella is concerned about. So if he was part of the conspiracy, you could even make an argument that the reason why he's so invested is partly because obviously there's the whole Miquella the Kind, and he wants to, you know, create his perfect order and all that stuff, and trying to solve those who live in death would be part of it. But you can also make an argument that maybe he feels a little guilty because he was involved in the conspiracy, so he kind of fucked over Godwyn, and now Godwyn is causing problems that like ruin his own plans. So it's kind of him trying to clean up his own mess. So like, I do think there is an explanation, but it's definitely like one of those things where it's like, man, like he has to be like fully on board on this shit, and or he's gonna totally tattle. I would not trust him. I wouldn't trust that little punk as far as you can throw him. Granted, you can throw him pretty far. He's so tiny.
Well, apparently he's the size, even as a child, he's the size of like a normal, like fully grown adult.
Did they check the model that's used in the flashback for that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's the same size as a Tarnished as a child.
I mean, granted, it could be they scaled it up just for the sake of the cutscene because no one else is in that scene.
I would agree, but they make such a point with the vulgar militia that people that are short are scorned. So it would be pretty reasonable to believe that people that are tall are more respected.
So you think that it would be that Miquella would be, it would be harder, people would be harder on Miquella if he was actually just small child, you're saying?
I would say that it's very believable that the demigods are like unreasonably tall compared to like normal people.
Oh yeah, okay, you know what? That is fair. Because I'm trying to think, do we see any normal sized demigods?
The closest is Godric after he's been separated from all of his limbs and he's being stomped on.
But he's already kind of exceptional, so.
Yeah, but I think that's the closest to small sized.
Yeah, maybe you can say the same with Godofla, but again, he's kind of exceptional too if the idea was like he was always sickly.
Like even like Ronnie, I think like her corpse is very tall.
Yeah, I remember that for sure. Yeah, Radagon's a decent size and stuff. Again, there's always you can always argue it's artistic license and stuff because like they don't make bigger doorways or anything for these guys, but it is funny to imagine like giant ass Radagon-sized Marika sleeping on that tiny ass bed in the round table. But you can say the same about Guinevere in her room, her giant ass bed in the cathedral. And then you got like that the tiny bed that she's supposed to actually sleep in. So yeah,
I mean, how does like Godfrey fit in like any bed?
Yeah, that's true too. He ain't Hey, listen, America's got that giant stone slab of a bed just for him, you know?
I'd be more willing to believe that Godfrey would sleep in that kind of bed than America.
Be like, I like it hardcore.
Yeah.
Only wimps sleep on sheets. Soft? I want to be hard.
Ew.
Godfrey's like, I don't need Viagra, I just need a tough bed. He's got Siraj to like whisper like sweet nothings into his ear all the time to keep him horny. That's how he was able to pump out so many kids for America. It is funny to imagine that Siraj is like kind of like in the cuck chair the entire time that they're having the golden lineage.
I'd have to believe that America would want him to be as crazy as possible for that. So, you know, the line would be outside the room.
It's like, okay, take off your restraints, Godfrey. No, but yeah, so like again, there's a lot of factors in this Night of the Black Knives, more than I ever possibly imagined when I was going into it. So I guess I'm surprised, but I guess I'm not surprised that I end up with like 8 pages worth of analysis there. And like I said, it's probably the best I'm gonna get until we get anything new. And like I said, who knows? Maybe the Elden Ring movie will be the one. Maybe it'll be something in the new Switch version or whatever. Maybe they'll come up with some other official media. But like, until we either find like more evidence in like some random items or whatever out in the world that no one's really picked up on yet or something, I think this is probably the most likely scenario. It's the one that seems to best kind of explain everything. Like I said, the only thing I can't really explain is the timing. I'm just going to go with the vague assumption that they can figure it out. Whether it's magic or a device or... they're going to somehow figure that out. They got the horses there. They got the training. They got the background with Celia and all that stuff to explain that. They have the time to choose the targets, right? They have God of War's information on the demigods' locations and like details about their homes and stuff, so they can more easily infiltrate these places. They have Rykard helping out there, right, with the Malekith situation and everything there, and keeping him distracted long enough. And then Rykard and Ronnie can, again, I think this is probably the weakest part of the writing for the Night of the Black Knives, but like this is the part where, you know, they can reasonably betray them and feel safe that it's not gonna, you know, come back to bite them at all. I guess you could argue it went back to bite Ronnie in the end because, you know, Blythe and E.G. and all that. Poor Blythe and E.G. Well, like, outside of those two, like, Ronnie and Rykard basically got away with it. And I can't think of any other issue. Like I said, I think probably the only thing I can think of is, like, they're supposed to have these invisibility cloaks. They do run out of power, as we see. So, like, a bunch of them aren't working. Oh, I should mention that in the next draft. I gotta somehow insert that in there, that they've lost a lot of their power. Because I think it's only the one in the Sage's Cave and the ones in Ordina who still have working invisibility, right? So, if that's the case, yeah, that stuff is covered. Yeah, okay, so the only problem would be if their invisibility was still working like at full power earlier, why didn't they use it like right away? Granted, it could be that they did, but because everyone's on high alert, they accidentally bumped into them or something, right? And it doesn't matter if you're invisible, right? Also possible that you have damage and stuff. Because you could, theoretically, they could have damaged the veils. So that way, you know, it just didn't work out anymore. We know the one with the invisibility veil has a talisman created using part of that veil, though. So I don't know how much the veil would have to be damaged in order for it to lose potency. I guess theoretically, it doesn't matter if it's in tatters if it's mostly in one piece. Yeah, this is definitely one of those things where if the Elden Ring film does end up like portraying the Night of the Black Knives or something, again, not saying I have insider information or anything, this is purely me spitballing, but if we got something like that where like the Night of the Black Knives was shown in full, I would really be interested in seeing how the filmmakers and From Software or Martin or whoever's working on that thing would be able to justify how everything plays out and keeping it consistent with what we see in the game and in the various trailers and stuff. But yeah, I think that covers it. I can't think of any more screenshots we can grab. And I think we've exhausted any talking points. It's getting late here, so I think it's probably fair if we kind of call it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Kind of crazy, you know? Like, Elden Ring is just this game that just keeps on giving. It's just so goddamn big. Meanwhile, Bloodborne is so small scale, and I'm like, how am I gonna make Attila, Adeline, and everyone flow together? I'm sure I'm gonna have the same moment with Elden Ring. Probably when I get to stupid cosmology. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna be like, how the hell am I gonna fit all this together in like one giant mega... I would be surprised if like anything on Elden Ring's cosmology becomes like a 40 page. Like, now we get to talk about the Outer Gods. Oh, and now we get to talk about like the 99 fucking cosmological Estelle creature. There's just so many like supernatural forces in this game. It's kind of wild. Maybe I could get a way of splitting it up. Like, I don't know, like maybe we do like just a dedicated like analysis of just the Elden Ring and the history with it. Same thing with like meta or something. Like, I think I could get away with like the two fingers and all that stuff, not talking about them in detail until like covering the history stuff. I'm pretty sure though I want to talk about anything involving the cosmos, anything involving the spirit realms, the dream stuff, prophecies, fate, the stars, the greater will, the one great, did I say the outer gods? But yeah, definitely the outer gods. Like, I mean, that's a lot of that. That's a lot. I can see that being really extensive too, depending on if we talk about any specific outer gods. Because I think I have to talk about at least the major ones. Like, Formless Mother's a weird one because I don't know if we have much history with her before the stuff with Mohg and the Blood Fiends. Yeah, I don't think we get like any like big stuff involving her. She's just kind of, you know, formless blood, you know?
Yeah, the only thing that we get is that there's an implication that she's like behind the war in the East.
Or at the very least, she's taking advantage of it. Because of all the bloodshed. Yeah, I can't really think of any... Because it would have to be that, like, there's it would have to be like there's an Elden Lord where like the involved with the Formless Mother or something. I just don't think we see that. Okay, maybe, and that's a big maybe. Maybe you can argue it's connected to the Mogwin Palace in the Ancient Dynasty, right? Like it's another one of those like with Rykard where it's like, oh, history repeats and the Ancient Dynasties have once again embraced the Formless Mother and the Blood Cult or whatever, right? Maybe you can make an argument there, but like compared to like the Rock God and all that stuff, I don't think it's that strong. At least with Rao and the Ancient Dynasty, we know for sure that Rot was involved in both of them. Though granted, I still am not entirely sure what caused the collapse of either, and we know from the Oracle thing, so there could be a lot more going on with the Mud people and stuff. Anyway, we're gonna end things now because I think I could just end up rambling about all the different topics at this point, and I don't want to do that. So, good night, everybody.
You already did.
Yeah, already did. Thanks so much, Xavier. Good to have you on here. So now I feel everything is balanced as all things should be.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.